when it comes to...
Shut up.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. We've got some breaking news tonight. So just last night, when I was in this chair, I spoke with MS Now Justice correspondent Ken Delanian about the wild behavior and spending of one Kash Patel, the far-right podcaster turned director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He hasn't spent a lot of time at the Bureau or been investigating much of anything, from what we can tell, but he spent a lot of time at sporting events and at concerts, drinking, partying, snorkeling at the Pearl Harbor Memorial, which is a
so you can't party now.
choice.
It's illegal to party in the United States.
His own government jet with his country music singing girlfriend. Well, today, Patel responded to some of MS Now's own reporting on how he spends his time in the government's resources, writing on social media, quote, "My jet ski is gold-plated, dumbass. Your job is to lie. Mine is to protect the American people, and business is good."
Okay.
Well, now tonight, the breaking news. We have exclusive MS Now reporting suggests Donald Trump isn't so happy with the job Patel is doing.
Uh-oh.
The FBI director abruptly canceled a planned flight Friday to see his girlfriend in Chicago just as he was preparing to leave, after top administration officials, frustrated with Patel, summoned him to the White House, according to two people with knowledge of the change. There appear to be several reasons for Patel's recall. Some in the White House reportedly found it confounding that the FBI director was leaving town amid the recent revival of the war with Iran and alleged threats against the president's life, according to a person familiar with efforts to help Patel rebuild trust with the White House. Another issue seems to be reports by MS Now and others about how Patel's lavish travel is being footed by you and I. Sources said there is at least one other unforced error. That would be the tweet today blasting us here at MS Now.
Uh-oh.
Carol Enig is the MS Now senior investigative reporter who broke this story with colleagues Jacqueline Alemany, Ken Delanian, Vaughn Hilliard, and Jake Traylor. When you've got 5 bylines, you know you could take it to the bank. Carol Enig. Well, so what were the circumstances, as best you can tell from your reporting, about how this was communicated to Patel? And then did he go to the White House?
He did. In fact, according to our reporting and our sources, he was basically commandeered back to the White House with plans to spend all of the day there. You know, Chris, when we first started this reporting, we were looking at, confirming, corroborating reports that he was scheduled to go to Chicago to visit his girlfriend. It's become a familiar pattern that he takes his jet to go see his girlfriend perform at various events. And
Not
this
his
time
jet.
it was at a...
Wait, is this actually a thing, really?
Yes.
He's just flying a jet around to visit who's his girlfriend?
He doesn't care, man. Just a random country singer.
Okay. King.
This isn't his. This is America's fucking jet, man.
King. Well, is it safer when he's there or not?
Oh, I guess, yeah. Probably not, actually.
Country Music Street Festival in Chicago, which is hosted in the parking lot of a large Chicago stadium. He was going to go to that event. He had, according to sources, scheduled a field office visit in Chicago, which FBI agents found really insulting. They felt like that was just a cover for him to be able to go see his girlfriend without any, annoying questions from reporters. That's how we started our day of reporting. But then we learned from our sources that on the tarmac this morning, Kash Patel was in a panic. He had to cancel the trip. He had to get to the White House stat because he was being ordered to come back basically to the principal's office to answer some questions and do some work. And there were a number of reasons. I have to tell you, I wish I knew precisely which one was the most important. And we don't know that yet, Chris. But you can imagine.
Hold on. Girlfriend alert. She is 27 years old. Kash Patel is 46 years old. Basically pedophilia.
She's good.
3 that you listed, right? We're at war with Iran. Iran tries to kill the president by recruiting people in the United States to kill him here. Number 2, he tweeted a very strange thing at MS Now about calling one of our columnists a dumbass and bragging about a jet ski that was gold-plated. And
Well,
then third,
is
the
it gold-plated?
reason is, that we've heard is that, you know, one of Trump's most important and reliable allies in the Senate, Republican Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, is now frustrated with Patel and trying to get answers to questions about the expenses of his travel to Milan.
You know how old Grassley is?
Why he purchased
92.
BMWs that
He's
were
real old. He's really old, isn't he?
so that he can more discreetly get around town. These are some of the reasons that have been cited to us about why the White House is kind of up to here with Patel and wanted him back at headquarters.
I just have to mention the irony here, which is that the White House loves to talk about fake news and all this stuff, but they actually know the reporting is solid and good and also respond to the reporting.
Really?
You don't have to say that. I'm going to say that, but just to be clear here, right? I just want to note, just to fill out the details here, Alexis Wilkins is his girlfriend's name. She'll be reporting at the Windy City Smokeout in Chicago, Illinois, in the parking lot of the United Center. I have to say, a musical festival outdoors in Chicago in the summer is basically as good as it gets. You can hardly blame a guy for wanting to go. And I also got to say, all other things considered, he does seem to be a good boyfriend. But this is what Stephen Chung had to say about the reporting, and it's notable, so I'm going to read it to you. He issued a statement without responding to specific questions about Patel's canceled trip. He said, under President Trump and Director Patel's leadership of the FBI, crime across the country has plummeted to the lowest level in more than 100 years. That, by the way, is debatable, although it has gone down. And many high-profile criminals have been put behind bars. I suppose that's true, although a lot of others have been pardoned. Director Patel remains a critical player of the administration's law and order team. Notable here, there's not any denials, not any fake news, not any name-calling.
No, that's true. They reserved that for X, where they come after us for some of our reporting. Chris, we feel very solid about this, and for lots of reasons, some of which you've alluded to. I want to say hats off to the MS Now team that jumped into this breach when we began this morning, thinking we had one story, and then we had a very different one, and then we had, really moving target in terms of a potentially really huge story. The White House angry at Patel, and it's not the first time. A trip canceled on the tarmac, a big deal. Yeah. But I really value the colleagues on this byline: Jackie Alamany, Jake Traylor, Ken Delanian, Vaughn Hilliard. I mean,
wait, when he's trying to interject, does he sound like Mutin? He does, right?
None of this would be possible without
Chad,
them, and thanks to all of them.
Let me just reiterate one more thing, because you said it at the top, but I just want to come back to it, because just when you think about it, you've got this reporting. He obviously is under scrutiny for these trips. He's obviously under scrutiny for flying the plane and reporting, in which, again, I'm going to quote, this is actually from a letter to Patel by Raskin Senator Durbin that says, a credible source relayed, you told field offices in a meeting last year, if you have golf, hockey, fishing, or hunting and beautiful sights, you're going to see a lot of me. Not really hiding the ball there. After this reporting, he's sitting on the tarmac to go to Chicago, which just happens to be the city that his girlfriend is performing at a musical festival, and has arranged a visit to the Chicago field offices. It feels like he's doing the thing, right? The whole reporting you had yesterday is he comes up with these sort of ostensible cover stories for travel so that he can go and hang out. And now here he is sitting on the tarmac this morning, bound for Chicago for ostensibly a visit to the field office.
Yes. And, this is kind of what got him into such hot water with Trump the last time. I mean, we have this reporting from a while ago now, Chris, but just to underline it for your viewers, who I know are paying close attention to you and what you have to say, let me just repeat. In February, when we reported that Kash Patel was on the tarmac about to leave for Milan, and that FBI agents internally said he was going because he wanted to see the men's ice hockey team play in the Olympics. We were told by the FBI, oh, no, it's a business trip. And we got all this these pieces of paper, essentially, that said he's got this meeting, he's got that meeting, he's got all this security stuff he's working on, he's got a diplomatic
You
meeting.
want to know how many coins I got right now?
And later on, we learned from
Probably
FBI
like
sources
4,000?
that no, all of those were
75,000.
arranged
Yeah, right.
as cover
I'm on a
for him to
fucking
go
run.
see the men's ice hockey team play at the Olympics, which they won. Amazing.
Hooray.
I'm sure a lot of people would have liked to be there. But Kash Patel could not say, honestly, that, he went because he wanted to see the men's ice hockey team play in the Olympics. That is not something he could apparently deign to say.
Right.
But yet that's what all the records show. And this pattern, I'm really glad you flagged the tarmac moment, because he's getting a letter from a huge Trump ally saying, can you please answer my questions about your travel and why it's justified?
Yes.
And then he's heading to Chicago to go see his girlfriend play, which is perform, which is one of the things he got in trouble with Trump with before. The hockey was like kind of almost the last straw for Donald Trump. He really confronted Kash Patel and said, it's not a good look, dude. It's not a good look. And yet, such an important point for you to highlight that this is literally what he was doing Friday morning until it got cut short.
Well,
Love will make a person do crazy things.
Not allowed to party now, I guess?
Very much. Appreciate it.
Guess not.
that's what the Dems want us to believe. Okay.
When it comes to the European Union taking action against Israeli policy, nothing happens quickly, if at all. Was that about to change?
Nothing ever
EU
happens.
Foreign Policy Chief Tanya Kallas
That's gonna
says that
change
the
now.
majority of member countries have called for a ban on the import of products from Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories. Well, several member states, including Ireland, the Netherlands, and Spain, have already imposed their own trade restrictions. Pressure is growing for the European Union to act as a whole, and that was evident today as EU foreign ministers met in Brussels.
These are not options against Israel. These are options against the illegal settlements that undermine the two-state solution. Taking action against the trade with settlements got the most support from the member states. We tasked the ambassadors to take this work forward, and probably will also have an extraordinary meeting on this.
Well, my next guest is warning that Europe could be exposing itself to legal liability the longer it waits to take action on trade with Israeli settlements that Europe considers to be a violation of international law. Alberto Alemano is a professor of EU law at HEC Paris. Professor, it's good to have you with us. I know you say that every day Europe drags its feet, that its legal liability grows. Are you saying that Europe could possibly be seen not merely as a bystander here, but as an accomplice in alleged criminal acts by Israel?
What?
I think this is a long-standing issue. The European Union has been importing goods, also services from Israel over the past few decades. And since then, we have an advisory opinion by the International Court of Justice clearly declaring those settlements illegal. That alone signified that the continuation of trade relations with Israel, and in particular those territories, represent a breach of international law. That alone would justify action by the European Union. And that's why the hesitation we are facing today when foreign affairs ministries are meeting and discussing these issues seems to be slightly problematic, because the EU should have acted much earlier than today.
But Professor, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and you're saying that the optics here are not good, and the legal liability, that point is taken.
Not the bad
but
optics.
who would or could judge the EU? I mean, who's going to point the finger at the EU and demand that it change its course of action?
The EU can.
Well, that's a matter of inaction by the European Union. And since this is a trade issue, it's an issue that only the European Union alone can actually decide by majority vote of its own members. Its inability to act is something that could be brought in by a member state, meaning a national government could bring decision for failure to act before the Court of Justice, and potentially also by civil society organization and citizens. They can bring decision before national courts, invoking both public international law and European law, and then having the national court refer.
You know what?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a hidden racism thing, somethingism thing that we don't talk about.
Okay.
Now everybody knows that like facial hair people are not normally like as professional. Like if you want to be like a professional person, you got to shave. I feel like I don't see very many curly haired people in like professional positions. Like this guy right here, he's got curly hair. I feel like usually these motherfuckers all have straight hair. What's going on with that? What's going on with that? What's going on with that?
The matter to the
What's
European Court
up
of
with
Justice in
that?
Luxembourg, which potentially could condemn the EU for inaction.
But this would not happen quickly, would it? I mean, there may be legal recourse here, but we're talking about, what, months, years? And by then, maybe the public will have forgotten about the whole thing.
Well, I doubt that public opinion will forget about this, but certainly it's going to take time before a judgment of the court will be given on the issue. I think the legal threats and their existence suggest that the pressure is mounting now on many governments, notably the few governments who have been holding back. We know which governments are against the idea of taking some measures against Israel, all the more so because of the difficult relationship with the US, the European Union entertains, NATO implications, and also because there will be elections in Israel. So how these possible restrictions taken by the EU might come across in Israel is also questioned today. With these further radicalized, the most radical parties in those elections, I think all those are genuine concerns, but at the same time, they don't provide an alibi for European inaction today.
Yeah, the European Union moving at what you say is a tectonic pace on this trade ban. Is it moving so slowly on purpose, in your opinion? And am I understanding you correctly? Do you think that the leaders in Brussels are actually considering the election in Israel when they're making their decisions here? I mean, that's domestic issues of Israel. That shouldn't be playing a role in European Union policy decisions, should it?
Well, legally speaking, this is a matter of trade where a simple majority of member states could agree on. But we know that some countries, including the Italian government, the Czech government, but also Germany, insist on saying, no, this is a matter of foreign policy, though we need unanimity. And since there's no unanimity, we cannot really act. So in a way, they're hiding behind this legal argument to potentially hide deeper variables, including the electoral dimension in Israel, the relationship the EU has with the United States. So all of this is kind of mixed together in order to delay action. However, it's the first time ever that an actual discussion is taking place about actually restricting trade, because the original idea of suspending the entire EU-Israel trade partnership was actually set aside. But now it's back on the agenda by looking specifically to the issue of trade with the illegal settlements that exist in the West Bank, for instance. So this per se seems to matter a lot, but these are mere options, they're not proposals. So we don't see legislative proposals on the table yet, despite the growing demand by a dozen of member states that seem to have today a majority to actually pass those measures.
The International Court of Justice has said that states should take steps to prevent trade and investment that help maintain the occupation. Now, if the law is already clear, why is the EU still debating options instead of implementing them? I mean, outsiders are going to look at this and say this is another example of the EU is ineffective. The only thing it does well is just talk.
Well, the enforcement of public international law is clearly under stress today. So there are not many precedents in which other countries have been, lodging actions against other countries because of the breach of international law, all the more so when it comes to Israel. We know this remains politically and historically an issue that is holding back many countries, notably Germany. We know that South Africa took this stance a few months ago to bring these actions against Israel itself, and that's the origin of that opinion. So in a way, the entire enforcement remains quite underdeveloped, and this is the reason why the law is not so clear. And oftentimes, the law is used in order to chill action, political action, by saying we're not so sure that actually if we do this, it's going to go through. And this, I think, is a very abusive way of using the law in order to chill, to threaten people from acting.
Professor, many viewers are going to look at this and say Brussels is willing to sanction Russia over invading Ukraine, and it's willing to do it quickly. Why isn't it as willing to act as quickly and as effectively against Israel? I mean, are there two standards of international law here?
It's an easy argument to make, but I'm not sure that he holds all the way. I think the current situation we've been witnessing in the past couple of years in Israel following the Hamas attack and the, let's say, reaction has no precedent. And it also has a much deeper and longer story in which the European Union never managed to speak with one voice. And I think that's a major difference. I think the European member states, national governments are completely split on the issue. Whereas when it comes to Ukraine, we don't know exactly why and how. There seems to be much greater unanimity, all the more so that Viktor Orban was possibly the only rebellious head of state. And the government in that case was kind of holding back. So the two situations are quite different. I don't necessarily buy this kind of double standard argument. I think the situation is much more clear cut when it comes to Israel than many people depict. So here, I think the EU should basically take action in order to remain consistent with his own value system and what he preaches.
If and when the EU does take action, what we've been hearing is that we may not be talking about a total trade ban. Now, critics say that anything less than a total ban will be nothing but performative politics. Do you agree?
Obviously, the entire idea of banning or limiting or restricting trade coming from the Israeli legal settlement to the union is merely symbolic. We're talking about a very small amount of trade that is currently happening between these territories and the union, but it has a very significant political symbolic value in the relationship between the EU and Israel, which would have a very significant political effects both across the union and in the Israeli political system. So I think it would be important also as a precedent for many other regions of the world. They are looking at the European Union, and therefore the EU remains a little bit of a test case for taking international law obligations seriously or not.
Professor, let me ask you before we run out of time, if governments can set aside legal obligations whenever the geopolitical stakes are high, doesn't that empty international law of any real meaning?
Kind of.
There's no doubt what is at stake is the credibility of the entire international law system as it emerged after the Second World War, as it has been promoted, notably the United States of America and Europe and the European countries. And therefore, the question is what is left of that system, if there is cherry picking, if there is kind of this political chill on whether to enforce it or not. And since we are getting into a new geopolitical order where we are no longer seeing is a value-based multilateral order, obviously any departure from these obligations represent negative precedent that weaken even further the potential sustainability of the systems in the absence of an alternative.
Professor Alberto Alemano, we appreciate your time, valuable insights, fascinating discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Boring.
Boring.
Kick streamer and fish tank star Susie Smalls has passed away. What happened?
Come party with
I don't know.
Party with Susie. Party, come party with me. I may be short, but just but tall. Dance and go like a kiss and go. I don't let that.
They're fucking. Exclusive senior advisor to Melania Trump, Mark Beckman.
Get to see. So all
impacts.
Okay.
What's up, fellow gays?
What's up, buddy?
I just power washed my backyard. Well, the tile.
No, the grass.
Well, it's just, clarifying. I'm all wet.
How'd that go? Do you feel like you washed it all up? Feel like you accomplished a lot there?
Yes. I think that this was it needed to be done. And it's been done now.
Bring up the Dan Destiny husband thing. Did you guys stream this morning? Was that about something? Did you guys talk about something?
I don't know what this is about.
It's Moot was calling me homophobic.
Uh-oh.
Was I?
I think so. I'll say it. I'll say it again.
Oh, wait, is this where Dan is like, I don't think I could handle Steven having a husband.
Yeah.
I don't think I can handle it. I think I'm not homophobic, but it'd be too weird. It'd be too weird for me. I don't know. What do you want me to say? It would be weird.
Wow.
I'm not homophobic, but
Does homophobia like a boss.
yeah.
Got him.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for being honest. My bad. I'll just lie. You know what? No, I would see no difference whatsoever. Everything would be the same.
Good.
Bruh. I might actually lose. Nah.
140,000 coins.
Shut up, dude. You're probably stacking like shit you're not supposed to stack.
The answer is yes, by the way, to the chat poll.
Yes to
I
what?
You are
jinxed it.
homophobic?
Oh.
I jinxed it.
Oh, got him.
I can't take it. I'm the retard knight.
What? Okay, Dan.
You know the Dark Knight? He can
Yeah,
take
we
it.
know. We got it.
I get it.
Okay.
We figured
Well,
it
I'm
out.
I'm the retard knight. Bro, did you see? You know what? Actually, never mind. Never mind.
No, you have
Never
to say
mind.
it now. You're super locked.
I think
Oh my
Hasan's
God.
trying to get that Pegasus guy arrested. It's very funny.
What? Which? Oh, the one that he says like that makes YouTube videos on him. He says he stalks him or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up, yo.
Well, that's what it is. So, all right, the next how many days, how many hours of streaming are we gonna be seeing?
Well, I'm going to DC
Not
tomorrow,
from me, from
so-
you guys. Okay, so tomorrow nothing.
Wait, tomorrow or the day
Okay.
after? Please be the day after.
I think it's the day after for you.
Thank God.
So you will be streaming tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on, let me use the restroom 1 sec.
Well, shit. All right, well, what are you thinking about, Luke?
Just lost my fucking game is what I'm thinking about.
Uh-huh.
But whatever, I got out with 150,000 coins. Which means I can probably buy fucking everything now. Like a boss.
I
Good
don't know what-
business.
I don't know what game you're talking about.
Don't worry about it, Dan. You wouldn't get it.
I mean, probably not. Pretty out of it, you know?
Like a boss?
You'll have Darius as an on-the-ground correspondent at LibCon. You know what I need? I need to have the thing. Like, I feel like they did this in a prank show, meaning like pranking, or what's the word for it? Making fun of prank shows. I need an earpiece for Darius, and I can tell him what to do, and he has to do it. I think that'd be funny. Whatever it is, no matter what, that would be fucking content.
Rape that dog, Darius.
Well, I wouldn't. Obviously, I'm not going to be like they were in that show. I forget what it was. But yeah, like if he does it, he gets $1,000 or something. Why's your mind going to dog rape right away?
You want to talk where your mind was going to this morning immediately?
I don't remember. I just got up.
Kid raping.
Oh. Well, there was something with Trump on the screen. That's why I was thinking that.
That makes sense.
Well. What else is news?
Nothing. Just
Nothing.
chilling.
Any new opportunities in the real estate sector?
No, I've been looking, but I haven't seen anything that I like.
Really, not a single thing. You're just above every single house in Canada.
Well, I'm
Come
sure
back to
that
the
there's
US.
some good houses, but they're going to be way more expensive than I would like to pay.
You also need to think of the future, because no idea what's going to happen with like YouTube or Kick or anything else in the future, you know?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I'm not retarded.
Oh, okay. -74, Mutin.
Wasn't that like 5
Came
years
anyway.
ago?
Yeah, but he came
10
anyways.
years ago.
It wasn't 10 years ago.
But he came anyways?
Yeah.
Like
There's
you
people who were
made him?
here for that. That was a long time ago, actually. Yeah.
What is Sam talking about right now?
Nothing. I'm not booming. Just saying that it was a long time
Just
ago.
thinking thoughts.
Those are free to have, by the way. You ain't got to pay. You don't have to pay anyone for the thoughts, smells, sights. All of
All
those
free.
free and good stuff. See, they don't know about the free smells. They have no
That's 'cause
fucking
they're
idea.
fools.
How big is the free smell strat?
It's good.
It's better than good. Okay, the smells, I'll let all of you guys know. When you're traveling, you need to frequently stop and sniff big time, okay? Just wherever you are, okay? And the reason why, that if you actually take a second and pause and sniff, in the future, when you're older, you'll be doing something, doesn't matter what, and you'll smell something, and boom, teleported back 20 years when you're on your vacation in Martha's Vineyard, just like that. Holy shit, you just fucking time traveled. But the only way you get to do that is if you stop and you sniff constantly throughout life. And if you do that, yeah, just like in Ratatouille, exactly the same thing. Except it will be you on like the metro in DC or something. But it's free and it's good. It's my best advice that I can give to people that want to just trust me.
If
Just
that's
start
your best
sniffing.
advice,
It's not the best advice, but it's
And discover
it's,
senses. Nice. Wow. Should we
No,
look at the
it-
sites as
no
well?
one does it.
No one
You
smells?
should.
They run around with their nose clogged all day?
No, it's different. You have to stop and really take like 15, 20 seconds, look around, remember it, smell. And if you do that, and if you do it correctly, and you actually like really pause and don't think about anything else when you're doing it, you can time travel back to that point. You can time travel back there. You can. I regret nothing. It's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What did you
Do it
guys
right
talk about
now?
this morning?
Oh. Murder.
We watched Murders this morning. I just watched pretty much a lot of the news that you watched right there. Is there anything else that I have for you? World War I happened. It's still happening. Trenches
What happened
are still going.
today?
Today they were fighting in Gallipoli. Nothing happened there. Nothing happened on the Western Front. The Germans went and fucked over the Russians quite a bit. Russians are kind of in a shit spot right now. They're starting to ask. They're being like, "Hey, I need my allies to start fucking doing something. This is not just a me war." And then the Turkish people did some genociding.
Were they like, "I need more bullets"? You know what that's from?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I need more bullets.
What's that from?
Oh, you don't know where that's from?
That's why we said we don't know.
I don't know if I should share it with you. It's a TikTok meme.
Wow,
You a TikToker?
That's freaking epic.
Tell him, Steven. Tell him how epic it is.
That's freaking epic, dude.
It's like a French gay guy who's shaking his ass saying, "I need more bullets," whenever a donation comes through. So, yeah. You wouldn't get it. You had to be there.
Interesting.
It's like the Glizzy Gobbler 9000, that guy, Glizzy Overdrive.
Oh, I like that guy. Yeah,
we know that guy.
Yeah.
Now that's
going into Glizzy Overdrive.
Do they still do that? Like that?
Probably.
You get paid, I guess, right?
It's good business.
Whenever someone sends that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. Moot, we got to try that one morning. We got to set it up and do it.
I would make so much money.
I would make more. I hate to tell you. No one wants to see your Glizzy Overdrive because you give it for free all the time. Every time I come on stream,
What?
your ass is fucking like right up to the camera and you're shaking it.
It's
Big
good business.
time.
There's no way you can just buy a fire truck and drive it around street legal. I don't believe that.
You can't.
No, it would have to be debadged or whatever.
Well, yeah, you can't.
With the hoses on
but-
and everything, you can just drive
Why
one
not?
around like that?
You can drive
Almost
fucking
certainly
tanks
not.
around.
I don't think you can.
Well, not the treaded ones, but you can drive the like APCs. You can.
Okay, an ABC is not a tank.
It's tank-like.
Okay.
What's the difference? The treads?
Well, there's not going to be a main cannon on it and machine guns and shit mounted on it. It's just an armored
what do you
vehicle.
What do you think an APC has? And also, even on the fucking tanks,
Even for an ABC, even if it did have guns on it, there's no way you'd be able to drive it around with guns mounted on it. I can't believe that in a public place.
They do. They do, but they have to be like de-armed or
yeah,
whatever.
so you're driving around a heavy car. I'll just drive my F-150.
If you're asking me if you can have like an actual functioning like autocannon on top of your vehicle, the answer is no. But can you have
well, when somebody
previously
says, "Can we
functioning-
drive tanks?" They're like, "No," and you're like, "Well, actually, you can drive tanks. Well, not like tanks, but like actually, you can drive ABCs.
No.
Well, but not like with any guns
No.
on them. But as
You're
long as they
wrong.
have normal
No,
wheels
with
and no
guns.
tank
You're just
treads
wrong.
and no guns on
That's
it, then
fine.
you can drive.
Let me know-
Wow, big
let me know-
cars.
let me know
you
when
can
you're
drive
done.
big cars in America, Dan. Really, big
Let
cars.
me know when you're done.
Big cars.
Let me know when you're done. No, you can have an actual fucking Sherman tank, and what they do is they just make it so the main gun can't fire. Fuck you.
Really?
Really?
You tell dear leader, fuck you?
I do. Fuck dear leader. He's wrong.
He misspoke.
You can. I know this.
Really?
Yeah. You can buy fucking LAVs that are amphibious. All sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, I am right. You know, I'm starting to
Dan's
think I'm
always
never
right.
wrong. I'm just never wrong.
Careful.
It's kind of weird.
Be careful.
I know. I don't want to jinx it.
Well, I was saying we just some. I'm playing video games.
Wait, I have no idea what you're saying. No, say it. I have
I'm
nothing
playing
to
video
fear.
games.
He's playing video games. Stop harassing him.
Yeah, but I feel like he had something to say about the time that I was wrong, and I want to remember the time that I was wrong, so I can
Well,
never have it
I was
happen.
gonna say I feel like there's been a couple stumbling blocks on the recent lawsuit arc for Ethan.
No, no, nope.
Good start.
Only if the appeal.
If
is
the appeal
lost.
fails, that's good business for us, though.
That appeal.
If the appeal fails,
failing
I will
100%.
fucking-
That appeal is 100%.
You're.
failing.
Oh my god. Delusional.
We are going to watch so many fucking movies.
There is no fucking like
It
you don't
is going to
understand.
be so awesome, man.
That appeal is not going to even be paid for by Ethan. right? That appeal will 100% be paid for by the MPAA, for sure.
They will have no interest in it whatsoever because those are creative
Really?
works of art and they are not politically oriented documentaries.
You dumb fuck. The judge said that Ethan's shit was a work of art. He ruled that way.
Okay. Then we'll see what happens. I'm going to be totally wrong then.
Destiny wrong? I think not, Dan.
Oh, yeah?
You must be on the wrong side of this. Going
Whatever.
into maximum glizzy overdrive.
Whatever, bro. How long do you think Taylor Lorenz will continue to mask up?
Probably until she dies like a retard.
Wait, until she dies like a retard, implying she's going to die due to a retarded thing, or she's going to keep masking up until she dies because she's retarded?
Until she dies because she's retarded.
Okay, careful.
I'm a journalist.
Me too. I'm a published journalist.
Me too.
Just call me Dr. Journalist
Yeah.
Sullivan. Yeah.
How do I view my... Yeah, you just did it. How do I view that? How do I view my items in this menu?
L1.
What the fuck is L1?
What do you mean? Oh my
Are you
god.
playing on-
Are you a
Oh my
keyboard?
God.
You're playing
Yes,
on
of
keyboard and
course, of
mouse? No wonder
course.
you're so far behind. Sheesh.
God, you
You're
play-
actually
you're so
just
dumb.
like, oh my god. What are you in the off or yeah, are you in the office like trying to hide from your boss? Oh my god. What's wrong with you?
Moon, is that true? Are you not working right now?
Yeah, no, I'm working, man.
I want to see that Excel spreadsheet up.
Expel?
Yeah, because he's about to expel you from the show if
Oh,
you're not
sure.
working.
Exactly.
True. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Wonder where John Zerka is.
I
Is that
hope
guy still
he's
doing shit?
Chilling.
How does
Can
it
you
work
not
like
wake up another demon?
True. How does it work
I
like
don't
another
think he
judge
was-
comes in after I cite Ethan Klein's case and the judge says, yeah, that precedent is bullshit. Precedent is just like it just points in a certain direction. Theoretically, somebody could just say, I super disagree with this and then massively overrule it, but it would take like a really compelling argument. And then precedent is usually like multiple decisions over periods of time, not usually just one, although it could be. You can have like, if it's like a big one, you can call it like a landmark decision, but it just depends.
The worst ruling will be at an appeal if they're like, oh, the district court erred when they decided this on summary without letting it go to a jury. Like, that will be the most annoying fucking thing. And like remanding it back to the district court.
Oh my gosh, hi guys.
Hi,
Hi,
Hi.
what are you doing?
your mom.
Hanging around.
Okay. What are the cats up to?
I think that Mel is asleep on her bed.
Okay.
And the fish is probably just like laying in the bathroom waiting for one of us to pee.
Nice. It's just waiting.
Yeah, she, not it. She, the fish.
It's a fish?
No, she's a cat, but her name is the fish.
Idiot, Jesus. That's so simple.
Drop the. It's cleaner.
No, it's an honorific. It's like how you say like this is like you
The
know,
Ukraine.
doctor or Mrs. But she's the. Well, they were fucking. They thought that you were in trouble. Like chat thought that you were in trouble. I saw them all sweat-stinnying. Oh, you found it. Good. Bye.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Oh, mouton.
Oh.
What's for dinner?
Nothing. I can't eat dinner. I'm too fat.
Haste. Starvation mode. We should have like an
You
eating
tried
disorder
getting-
competition and see who can like do the best eating disorder.
I want to know what
I'd
happened to
win.
Zerka. I'm not trying
I
to
don't.
awake a demon. I just want to know what happened to him. I haven't even seen him tangentially. Like the last time I think I saw him was he was fighting someone in South Beach and like laying on the ground doing a selfie stream or something. It was very strange.
That's a classic, yeah.
That was years ago though.
Dan's trying to wake up 2 ancient demons this week.
I didn't do no. That's Darius, and Darius is just fucking. That's his problem. That's crazy.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
No. Whatever.
Hasan Slop linked in chat. Click.
1 hour 40 minutes.
I watched Hush this morning. Do I need to watch this? Is it going to be the same shit or what?
I don't know. I didn't watch Hush.
By your own.
Oh, him talking to Rokana. Didn't we already see some of this? Hold on.
Holding.
Amsongold versus Kasparian on Lindsey Graham.
Kasparian? That sounds like Kriparian.
No, Anna Kasparian. Was Amsongold celebrating, or no? He wouldn't be celebrating.
And what my point is that I think Trump was the end of it too, though, right? Because Trump was like, okay, if you want to call us all racist,
dude, I don't know. God, politics. Oh, our good friend Sean, friend of the stream.
Hannity?
No, AJW. Anytime someone with an R next to their name dies, most of the left immediately celebrates, which is unsurprising. They'd celebrate the same if it were me or anyone else they disagreed with, but then some on the right join in because they just don't seem to get it. Ugh.
Quit crying.
Oh, God. What is this?
I really
Open Borders leftist killed by suicidal empathy. Really?
Empathy will get you.
Hey, you can set him up. Finally, Dan's mom is here. Yes.
Yes.
This is going to be a
when she comes over.
Mega disgusting video, isn't it? I can feel it.
Is it a Hasan video or I don't know what you're looking at?
Oh, AJW Sean.
like it when Ali calls me those Arabic words like marshmallow and habitat. Oh my god, are you stupid? Do you mean Habibti and mashallah?
So the woman that you're seeing right here is 43-year-old Jamie Carney. Now, Jamie Carney was a United States citizen. She's actually native to Westchester, New York, according to the New York Post article that is about her. And Jamie Carney is somebody who considered herself a left-wing activist, specifically on the issue of canceling ICE, because immigration enforcement is absolutely terrible. And unlike a lot of left-wing activists that are all talk, when the evil bad orange man was elected president for a second term, she decided that she was going to pack up her things and move to the nation of Ireland. And in fact, the area that she went to is called Killarney. This is an area that I visited last year while I was on vacation there. And what she did when she got to Killarney, which by the way, she moved there with her 13-year-old daughter. She was a single woman at age 43, single mother, I mean. And yeah, she decided that she was going to participate in the pro-Palestine activism scene. And of course, she was really going to double down on this and find herself a refugee man, an Arabic man, and start dating that individual because she wanted to show everybody that she was down with the cause. And in fact, she has many, many social media posts about the benefits of dating an Arabic man, about the benefits of dating a refugee, an asylum seeker. By the way, this guy was an asylum fraudster. Prior to being in Ireland, he was actually in France, a place that is becoming a more Islamic country, but not somewhere where he was facing any kind of oppression. And yeah, she had multiple different posts about the benefits of dating an Arabic man, about how she was being treated like a queen by this Arabic man, and how everything that Western men said about them was racist and absolutely horrible. And in reality, her experience was completely different. And this was despite the fact that this guy lived in a notorious refugee area that experienced a ton of violence, and despite the fact that she didn't really speak Arabic, so she could only understand 10% of what he was saying. But that 10% was enough for this woman to not only hang out with him, not only have this man in her home, but have this man in multiple locations with her 13-year-old daughter. And very unfortunately for her, this suicidal empathy actually did pay due, because she was murdered by this guy, allegedly, and now he is on the loose. And by the way, she was savagely beaten to death by this Arabic man that treated her like a queen. And this is what we're going to talk about today. This is what we're going to discuss. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Oh, give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
So this is one of her social media posts that I actually had to nerf the audio for because of copyright reasons, because there's music in the background. But it says, dating an Arabic man, be like, and she's smiling, having a good time. And then she shows messages that she exchanged between this individual. Now, the first message is, you have transcended the stage of love and friendship. You are the companion of the soul and perhaps the soul itself. And then the next message is, I wish you happiness and peace of mind, my dearest. And then there's one that says, Shabadek. I don't know what that means. And then it says, Ayibak. And it says, I hope you have a beautiful day, my love. And then it says, I love you so much, Habibi. And then it says, I truly love you and want to embrace you. You are the source of my peace and comfort. My heart and soul are full of tenderness for you, my love, but you are my greatest concern, my love. Nothing else matters to me except you and your health. I miss you. I love my time with you, my darling. And then she captioned this post with, the most kind, emotionally intelligent, self-aware person I've ever known. Now, again, it is very important to understand that this woman was not simply dating an Arabic man. She flew to Dublin, a foreign country, joined up with one of the most obnoxious activist groups in the entire world, the Free Pally types. That's how she met this particular individual. And when he said she was his comfort, that was because she was providing him with resources because, of course, like many of these people living off the taxpayer in the nation of Ireland, this guy didn't appear to have any jobs. So essentially, she was the sugar mama. She was providing him with all these different things. There's multiple different videos of her trying to speak Arabic, again, talking this guy up, talking his culture up, talking about how superior his culture is, even though, again, he abandoned his culture in order to go to Ireland and mooch off of their welfare system. And yeah, this woman was a poster child, or trying to be a poster child for integration of these refugees, for humanizing these refugees.
A poster child for integrating or humanizing refugees. A woman who was apparently so unhappy with her life in the United States of America that she fucking abandoned the U.S., moved to a totally different fucking country to get with another guy. My guess is going to be that this guy or this woman probably already had some issues. We might guess, but you know, okay.
Not realizing that this guy was not just from the third world, but his mindset was also a third worldist mindset. So reportedly,
for a woman, Jesus Christ.
True, cringe.
Around July 4th of this year, there was some arguing going on at their apartment, and guess what? She was found beaten to death by her 13-year-old daughter, and this man had already taken off and
She got beaten to death by her 13-year-old daughter? Phrasing.
Was also a third worldist mindset. So reportedly, around July 4th of this year, there was some arguing going on at their apartment, and guess what? She was found beaten to death by her 13-year-old daughter, and this man had already taken off and fled the nation. Now again, there are many compilations
What does that mean when he says, I'm sorry, I'm not, because I don't think Sean, as much as I think this guy's fucking whatever, I don't think he's a race realist, but third worldist mindset. But like, you know, the like white men kill their spouses as well. Like, this is not like a.
Oh yeah, we do this all the time in America.
Yeah, but
it's a time-old tradition.
Whatever. Maybe it was particular to him being Arabic or whatever.
Brown.
Fuck, we'll find out. Hold on one second.
Holding? You holding on, Dan?
I'm holding my dick.
Yeah, that must be hard for you to hold. It's huge.
It's true. Double handing it.
Yeah, my big fear on Thursday is Trump says like Canada was interfering in the U.S. elections, and that's why we're invading them.
I don't know what power he has, but he'll definitely say it. Whatever extreme shit you think he's going to do, he's going to say it. So think about how are people going to react when that happens? And just be fucking thankful it's happening this close with enough time to fucking challenge it.
True.
Hey, can you guys hear me, or my connection shit again?
No, we can hear you. Big D.
All right. Hey, Mooten, can I ask you a question, man?
What's up, man?
Why is your wife snarking me?
How is she snarking you today?
She's just asking people if I'm like a psycho IRL, like a whole bunch of stuff, like privately,
No,
like,
she's
bro,
worried.
like, chill.
She's worried.
Dude doesn't need to be. Dude, reassure her, man.
I have.
What have you been saying?
I said you're gonna be chill. You're Darius. You're chilling.
Wait, what's
have you
going
told
on?
her
What I
all my
missed?
like most like chill moments?
I haven't met you in real life, so I don't know your most chill moments.
What's going on? What I
Bro,
missed?
like I'm like 29 years old, man. Destiny, mention some things about me that are really chill that I've done.
Wait, what are you guys going to be doing in DC when we're at the conference?
Who is you guys?
I was supposed to go in and just chill, and I'm not streaming, but I was gonna go in and just hang.
like
But if other people aren't gonna be out, I'm gonna go out. and
It's like
just
the dog.
hang out
What
with
do you
them.
do when I'm not here? Wait for you to come home. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, did you buy a
Peach is
ticket?
gonna go
I was supposed to
shop.
watch you. Huh?
Did you buy a ticket to get in?
Yeah.
For 300, 400 bucks or whatever?
$200.
Steven, I like you a lot, man.
He loves you.
Okay.
So you're kind of expected.
I don't know if
Steve.
they're. I just letting you know. I'm not sure if they'll let you in. That might. You might. Like, make sure you have plans.
Yeah,
for
that's
that
what I've
day.
been
Just-
hearing.
okay, yeah.
That's what I've been hearing.
I would be careful. Okay?
Well, they're gonna get snarked if that happens. Because if they let me not in just because I'm chilling, then that's just like a weird behavior.
Wait, why would they not let him in?
Because it's a
He bought a
professional
ticket.
event. They don't want a ton of
saying.
drama.
There's not gonna be drama. I'm chilling. I'm gonna stream.
I mean, if they let fucking you and Mood in, he should be fine.
We're serious political commentators,
like-
Dan.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Darius, you're chilling. She's not even really snarking you, okay? You haven't even begun
Dude, she's
to see
actually
her snark.
Wait, say what?
You haven't even begun to see her snark.
All right. Well, I haven't brushed up on Pikachu's lore, but you know, I'm just like, listen, I'm just see, that's what I'm saying too. Like, I'm banned from an event. Like, what is this? Come on, dude.
What's
like,
on?
I'm trying to be serious. I'm literally gonna go canvassing in a couple of months. Like, I'm literally gonna go homeless so I can go travel around door knocking. Like, I'm trying to be serious. I'm actually trying to get tapped in. I understand it's like funny because I'm like a retard, but like Mr. Moon used to play League of Legends all day and like little
not
indie
true.
video games. Then he started listening to politics.
Oh,
It happens naturally. You gotta be
Darius?
accepting of these other types of people.
Can you name any of the senators from Washington D.C.?
See, here's the deal. Like, it's a black guy. I know it's a black guy.
That
That
was a
it?
good,
Or that's
that
the
was a
mayor of
good
New York?
question.
Listen, I'm
Dude,
learning. I'm
he
trying to
snarked you,
learn.
man. He just snarked you there.
There's
I'm
no.
learning.
They got no representation.
Yeah, there's no senators. in
Also,
But
you
they
start
do,
with
man.
it's a legislative, judicial, and executive branch, and I'm learning the legislative part, which the Senate's more up there. That's not the legislative. They're judicial, I think.
Okay. There'll be people will be doing the things all day. It'll be great.
Peach is gonna take the girls shopping, Darius. You can go with them.
I'm not gonna go with me and the boys. So Persec is coming, and Radiant. I think we're just gonna go like do something else if they don't go inside, or if they don't let me inside. I think we'll just go like look at the museums or the statues or something. But yeah, there's a couple of cool goth stores I saw. I want to go to. You know, there's like the monuments. There's a lot of stuff, man.
Okay. Cool.
Dan, are you coming?
Fuck no. I'm here streaming, making fucking money. You ain't make no money. Go out there, jerking each other's dick.
You can
at some
stream when you go
fucking
out.
Lib conference. Nah, someone needs to be here.
Well, some of
and
the people are okay
actually
with streaming. We can stream with them.
Someone needs to be here holding down the fort. You know? I'm like the designated
actually true.
survivor.
That is actually true. It's been hard to do like the snark streams when I'm not at home and I can like pull up things. Like that one guy who was saying some crazy stuff and he has like logs, the value guy, and I wanted to pull up on stream and I can't snark him, so because I can't like pull up a log. So I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Is there something that's supposed to happen on the 16th with Trump? People are telling me he's going to announce something like in the next couple days. You guys know?
On God?
People are worried that he's going to announce that the senators from Georgia are like illegitimate, and I don't even know what the fuck he'll do with that, but that's what the worry is right now.
Okay, so there'll probably be protests.
We don't know what he's going to announce. I don't think there'll be protests. I don't know what the fuck people would protest.
I guess. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys soon.
Be careful. That guy, huh?
He's a wacky one.
them together that you can find on the internet.com. I have to cut out the audio where it's copyrighted music because it will be claimed and this video will be suppressed. But as you can see from some of the stuff that I didn't cut the audio from, like this clip right here.
Didn't just become friends. Life looked at us, laughed, and said, yeah, they need each other. And honestly, it was right. Because somehow you showed up at the exact moment I didn't even realize I needed someone.
She's clearly and obviously trying to champion their romance as a good thing. And again, this romance is a part of her politics. This is something that she's promoting out to the world as an example for other white women in the United States of America, because she is a champion of an open borders agenda. And again, while a lot of people are snickering, while some people are laughing about this, I find no joy in this particular story. Because yeah, you would want somebody to learn a lesson, and some lessons need to be learned the hard way. But this woman was murdered. An American was murdered by a third worldist in the nation of Ireland that should have never been in that nation due to the fact that the West is embracing suicidal empathy, and she adopted that ideology personally, and she put her own child at risk. What if this guy would have kidnapped the daughter when he fled this particular country? What if he would have attacked her because she was present at the time? She was 13 years old, and therefore she is somebody that, you know, could be.
Bruh, she got murdered. Why are we hypotheticalizing like bad or hypothesizing bad things after this? Like, she already got murdered, bro. Like, what if we would have murdered? What if we murdered her twice? Like,
be a witness, could be a threat to him after he beat this woman to death. That is absolutely horrific. And the fact that this woman ended up putting her daughter in that situation for one big virtue signal is reprehensible behavior. But again, it doesn't justify the actions of this guy killing her. It doesn't make it a good thing. It's a story that we definitely should be teaching to people. That
what is the story? Like, is it not possible at all that maybe she actually loved the guy? I mean, like, right? That happens. Maybe she just like fell in love with the dude. She's also probably cringy. She sounds cringy, but I mean, who's not with him all like these days? But like, maybe she just loved the guy, right? And then
you love the motherfucker.
The guy beat her to death. But I mean, hey, that's what men do in relationships sometimes. Okay, what do you want me to say?
It's the cost of being with a man.
You should definitely learn from, because the idea that incompatible values is just some kind of right-wing talking.
Okay, he's a race realist. Never mind. This guy is a neo-Nazi. Never mind. What happened to this guy? He keeps repeating. I don't know if he. Oh God. Oh, never mind. Holy shit. I don't think he is. I'm sorry. I think he's just like, he's like the conservative soy pill. That's who he is. Is he not aware that he's like repeating every single like weird racial essentialist point? Like third worldist mindset, suicidal empathy. What was the last thing you just said?
That you should definitely learn from, because the idea that incompatible values is just some kind of right-wing talking point.
Incompatible do you know anything about this guy? Is there any information about him? He hasn't gone over anything about the guy at all, other than he's brown. Like what exactly are we talking about? The dude looked like a fucking he looked like a pretty chill Western style. It's not the guy's walking around in I don't know what the male fucking costumes are or whatever, but the guy just looked like he was a pretty whatever dude. Like, I wouldn't immediately think like radical jihadist Islamist.
Point is absurd. These kind of honor killings are common in the
was it an honor killing? What is he talking about?
Cultures that these people come from.
How was the food? Absolutely delicious. Alhamdulillah.
Now, again, a lot of these videos look like they're cute TikToks and all that, but they have an eerie sense to them now that we know that this guy very likely is the murderer of this one.
Yeah, that's kind of how all murders look when you know the person is dead. But yeah, they're pretty eerie. Yeah.
And all that, but they have an eerie sense to them now that we know that this guy very likely is the murderer of this woman. But I also want to point out for you guys out there in the audience that the Irish police, they're actually covering this up. They're not releasing the description of this individual. Some of the reporting alludes to vague misogyny and violence against women, and this is while this person is on the loose, is a fugitive. And again, this woman's 13-year-old daughter.
What do you mean they're not releasing a description of the individual? The guy that we see in the videos, or what?
Is left without a mother. She was in a single mother household, and essentially they had no interest in actually reporting this accurately in the press, even when, again, this guy is a fugitive from law enforcement. He immediately hopped a plane to Turkey. Obviously, he's planning on being protected there, and probably he'll make his way back to his home country, wherever that is. Although I do want to point out that even that...
Wherever that... Wait, does he not even know where the guy's from? Wait, what do you mean?
Is being withheld from the public because they don't want us to know where this guy actually comes from. Again, this guy who claimed to be an asylum seeker who wanted to join a European society, a modern society, ended up murdering this woman and taking off despite the fact that she provided everything that he could have wanted, and again, was so off guard against him that she didn't even worry about bringing her child around him. Again, these posts in hindsight are incredibly sad.
What do you mean was so off guard around him, didn't worry about bringing her child around him? She moved to a different country. Her child was always going to be around. What do you mean? I don't even know what that means.
It's all about, oh, people are saying his wife is hot, and he's like, you're my wife, and all this stuff. And again, I will remind you, there is a child involved in this particular case, a child that was put in danger in a foreign land by this woman because she decided to allow this foreigner, this third worldist, into her life. And again, we don't know as of right now, despite the fact that Ireland is a largely English-speaking country, and they could easily put out the speculated motivations, what the reason why this guy ended up turning on her. Why did
the speculated motivations? Then why? Wait, then how is he?
Or whatever the hell his name is, do what he...
Did he just guess a random...
What the reason why this guy ended up turning on her? Why did Ahmed, or whatever the hell his name is, do what he did? And I can only speculate that there is a possibility that it could involve the 13-year-old girl, because this woman ignored every possible red flag about this guy.
What were the red flags besides him being brown? What is he talking about? Was there... I feel like he hasn't given any information at all in this video. Hello?
About his origin point, about his culture and his behavior. She embraced all of it, and they were heard yelling at each other the night that she was killed. So one has to ask the question, what would actually make this woman cross the line and be weary of this person? And you would hope that maybe harm to her child would be that point, although I'm hopeful that that is actually not the case, because more victimization of that 13-year-old girl is not an acceptable outcome. It is not something that we should allow, but the Irish police should be held to an account. And by the way, the reporting from them that they're worried about this being taken up by Americans and being used as propaganda against foreigners. I mean, get a load of this line from the Irish Times article about this murder. Because Carney was a US citizen and the suspect was from the Middle East with permission to remain permanently in the Republic, the Garda are concerned that the killing may be seized upon by US far-right and political figures intent on stirring racial tensions in the Republic.
And you made this video which fully justifies that concern, because you're speculating on a million different reasons why this guy fucking murdered his wife. You have no fucking idea whatsoever, but you're so fucking horny. He's so fucking horny to blame this on some weird Middle Eastern shit without any of the information at all. From a guy who murdered, I'm pretty sure, fucking Mexican or South American or whatever. I'm pretty sure his wife is like she's brown. Like what, like, it's such a weird, cringe fucking position for this guy to occupy. Holy shit.
So Ireland lets a Muslim immigration scammer into their country.
Muslim immigration scammer. Holy fuck.
He turns out to be violent, and the number one concern after he murders somebody is how American far-right political figures might react, because, you know, they might be intent on stirring up some racial tensions. Who's gonna tweet about this? Who's gonna make a YouTube video about this is the true concern,
worry, we got
not
the
the killer that's
it's
on
Sean.
the loose that you refuse to describe to the public before you knew he got on a plane, because guess what? He could have been caught. He could have been captured, but you didn't want that information out there, because what if somebody sent a mean tweet? Is the Norm Macdonald meme where essentially a Muslim does something horrible and horrific, and we all should be concerned about Islamophobia first and foremost.
Can't say my friend's name, but he said his biggest fear is that ISIS or some terrorist group like that would get a hold of a dirty bomb and explode it over a major city within the United States and kill tens of millions of people. Because then the blowback against innocent Muslims would be absolutely terrible.
Yes, that's right.
That's true.
All right, let's do some jokes.
So yeah, while I don't take any joy in this, and I don't think people should take joy in this, the fact is, this is a teachable moment. This is a lesson that people really need to harp on. They really need to emphasize. James,
what is the lesson? Is he going to say it? Don't date brown people. Don't date anybody from the Middle East. Don't date refugees. What is the learning point? Please tell us. Has he said it, or does he just keep saying we need to learn something from it?
This is a teachable moment. This is a lesson that people really need to harp on. They really need to emphasize. Jamie Carney's story should be used to undermine every single belief that she advocated for in her real life, because this is the consequence of churning on all that intuition that you built up over the years, all that preference for a normal society that is like one of your own, and people who participate in that normal society versus an outside society, all that nonsense about cultural relativism or ethical relativism. This needs to be used as an example to...
How can he get so much? He gave nothing of the story. Is there anything at all? Okay, I'll look this up after. Hold on, let me just finish eating.
Rebuke that, because it's reprehensible. And again, the Irish government allowing this guy to escape, not releasing a description, doing everything to cover up this story from becoming an international news story, they should be named and shamed by the United States of America, because whatever you want to say about Jamie Carney, she was a citizen of this nation, and yeah, they have a duty to actually protect our citizens abroad in the same way that Irish citizens would be expected to be protected protected in the United States of America. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. As usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias. You can support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a white woman who decided to date an Arab refugee only to be murdered by him. Till next time. By the way, he's a fake refugee.
Jesus.
Wait, did he just sneak
only
that
to be
in again?
murdered by him. Till next time. By the way, he's a fake refugee.
Read the comments. They're all just going to be like, yeah, incompatible, white women, suicidal empathy. These guys are not compatible with our society and culture. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. This video was July 11th. Hold on. Damn, he tweeted about this girl so much. Oh, it's so fucking weird and gross. Holy shit.
Gone. What does the Vestaboard mean? Get snark.
Ooh. Okay, how to snark this guy on Twitter a little bit, you know?
You snark him good?
Oh, I snarked him. Okay, Jamie Carney.
Lannister?
Oh, look, he got arrested already.
Yesterday, Jordanian authorities detained the man Irish.
Uh-oh. Wait, did you guys ever cover on stream? I want to look a little bit more to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I must be missing something. A MAGA Trump guy in Texas apparently got into a political debate with his daughter, was drunk, grabbed his gun and murdered her, and got off completely?
Yeah, I heard about this. I don't know. I think it was an accident is what I ended up on, but I'm not
Yeah, but he didn't get manslaughter or anything. Also, excuse me, accident?
Yeah.
Drunk? Firearm? Isn't that illegal in and of itself? Am I wrong? Can you handle a
fire?
fire?
He was drunk.
Oh,
if
I thought that was
recall
part of the...
correctly. I'd have to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, do you want me to watch it? Do you want me to watch it? Do you need me?
Yeah.
You really need me.
Yeah, yeah. You got to realize when I cover it, it's breaking news.
Okay. I'll respond to you within 30 minutes, okay? I'll watch it. I'll see if I have a strong enough opinion on it, okay? I love you, Careful. Bye.
Is he talking to me? Oh.
No, sorry. God damn it.
Who are you talking to?
Brad wants me to base something on the ice shooting, but I haven't even seen it. I don't have a strong idea about it. Link me. Somebody link again. Link it.
There's no... Okay, yeah,
There's no what?
There's not... You're not going to see anything. There's nothing to see yet. I don't know why Brad's wanting a debate on it. Who's Brad? Palumbo.
Not easy.
Fred's coat could use a little love.
You know PetSmart has Royal Canin with precise nutrition for your breed's unique needs. Really? Yep, there's over 60 formulas. And if you sign up for AutoShip, you'll never run out. Obsessed. PetSmart. Anything for pets.
Okay. Car is driving. Person's running. Car looks like it's trying to U-turn or something. I don't even know. But it's driving around in circles. That's after they killed him.
There's no video of him getting shot.
Oh.
That I've seen.
Okay. Fuck it. I'll do it.
Pissed.
Investigators want to speak to in the Jamie Carney murder inquiry. At first, that sounded like the end of an international search, but one crucial detail changed the entire story. According
149 views. What the fuck? Never mind. That's AI. AI Arab voice.
Ahmed al-Sakar has been detained in Jordan. He is the man that Gardaí want to speak to in relation to the murder of Jamie Carney in Killarney in County Kerry last week. With me to break down this major news story is Michael O'Toole, and I'm Paul Healy. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. I was just sitting this morning going, okay, so it's now day 6 in the Jamie Carney story, and there have been loads of twists and loads of developments, and I was sitting going, well, you know, it's almost a week, so I don't really anticipate anything happening today, and then boom.
Mm-hmm. It's always when you least expect it.
Absolutely. And Paul, there's no doubt this is a major development, but it's simple and it's complicated at the same time, and I think we're going to go into all this.
Yeah, well, I think this is interesting, and you know, we did debate over this possibility, but I think we thought, you know, given what we had reported over the weekend and last week, that there is no, you know, there is no extradition treaty between Jordan and Ireland, and so we thought once this man had entered into Jordanian territory that he would be difficult to return here, and that may still be the case, but we didn't think that the authorities would pick him up. But do we know the circumstances of why he was arrested in Jordan?
I think we do. The first and most important thing to stress is that with any murder investigation, the way it works is that Gardaí do what they call their investigative file. Send it to the DPP. In cases when people are in custody and they already have evidence, they would confer with the DPP by phone.
Yeah.
But you always have to have, for a murder charge, you have to have what's called DPP's directions. Okay? That has not happened in this case, and we are probably a good way off that happening in this case because Gardaí in Killarney, County Kerry, who are working extremely hard on this, have to do their due diligence, and the DPP has to do his or her due diligence. Okay? We are so far off that. So this arrest has not happened because of a request by Irish authorities. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the Jordanian authorities have acted independently and proactively, and that's their right. This man was arrested in Jordan. He's a Jordanian citizen, and they have him. So this has been a real learning curve for us. We'll talk about this later, Paul. You and I have suddenly had to learn enough.
He's a Jordanian citizen. How the fuck did he seek asylum in Ireland? What is there like a story, like an article with the background of this guy? I'm getting triggered. I don't even know what's happening. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, I'm triggered.
Oh, I'm triggered.
Can you hit us with a free Palestine?
No.
Wow.
I'm not. Okay. Oh, Fox News. Let's go. The migrant who fled Ireland after the brutal killing of an American woman in a popular tourist town has been arrested in his native Jordan, according to Irish media. The man at the center of the case had reportedly been refused asylum in Ireland, but remained in the country while appealing that decision before the murder took place. He still possessed his passport, allowing him to leave Ireland before Carney's body was discovered. Good. Whoever just left, I'm glad they're gone.
It was Dan, sadly. I miss him already.
Fuck, me too, actually. Damn. How can you declare asylum in a country after if you're the citizen of a country that is like relatively it's Jordan?
What's his religion? Are they doing like a genocide in Jordan over a certain
No,
religion?
it's Jordan. Nothing happens over there. They just laugh at the Palestinians from across the river.
They just look at him and like,
that's all they do.
Look at those retards.
Basically. They said, shouldn't have stayed in 67. You should have come over here. Now you're fucked. She died from suffocation after suffering head injuries in her home. What if she just fell? Gays are persecuting Jordan. He was obviously in a relationship with a woman. Why do you keep saying gays?
Maybe he was gay.
Detectives believe Carney was killed around 11 p.m. Monday, hours before her 13-year-old daughter discovered her body at around 1:30 p.m. Jesus. Jordan's refugee population is huge, around 370,000 people from Syria. Why are you telling me this? We're not talking about a Syrian refugee who's in Jordan. The guy has Jordanian citizenship, is what it sounded like. That's how they made it sound. It's a fun fact. Okay. Is it? We really know nothing about this. Literally, it's just the... Okay. Man's been living in a state-run accommodation for asylum seekers in Killarney before spending increasing amounts of time at Carney's home after they became romantically involved. He first arrived in the United Kingdom before traveling through Northern Ireland and eventually settling in County Kerry. His social media accounts contain posts from the UK and Turkey in recent years. This guy sounds fucking loaded. What the fuck is this guy doing? Okay. So it's just everybody reading into this, whatever they want to read into it, based. What if he was gay? And what if he feels like the woman misled him? What if he was a gay man from the Middle East and he'd heard so much like horrible, debaucherous stuff about the United States, he assumed that all of our women had dicks. He starts dating this American woman. She's an American accent. They go to hook up for the first time. He's gay. He sees that she has a vagina and loses it and beats her up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Holy shit.
Get snark.
A man who Gardaí, Irish police, want to speak to in connection with the murder of a woman has been arrested in Jordan. Why do they have their own name for their police? What? Okay. It's pronounced Gardaí.
Gardine? Like the chicken wings?
The Irish Times.
Yo, shout out to J. Dr. Fernanda.
Really?
TTS is on the way, guys. Don't worry. He's working hard. Coding his little heart out.
He keeps asking me for tokens, and I don't have any to send him.
You don't know what that is.
Wait until you hear what they call the President of Ireland? Wait, what do they call the What do they call the President of Ireland? Oh. Your Excellency or Shoilsey? Or Uachtaran? What the fuck is this language? What is the Gaelic or whatever the fuck? Is that what the Irish language is? What is that even based off of? Is it like a Latin? It's not a Latin. Is it like a Germanic language or what? What is
Probably Irish.
Irish language? Oh, no, it's not Celtic. Wait, no. Isn't
Celtic.
It? Celtic. Is this not pronounced Gaelic?
Irish Gaelic.
Gaelic. Do people even learn how to speak this shit anymore? Irish is a Celtic language. Okay.
I'm announcing the arrest of Raymond Phillips, a Long Island man who shamelessly collected disability while posting social media videos of himself lifting heavy weights and advertising his personal trainer business. Get fucked.
Oh, maybe he trained his way out of...
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
This is the fraud Nick Shirley was talking about.
Exactly.
We love you, Nick Shirley.
How often is it? Wait, do you ever talk about your family members?
Sure.
How old is your brother compared to you?
He's 12 years older than me, so he's like
Oh, never mind.
41.
Do you think do siblings ever like compete for partners?
I think that would be very odd, but I don't have anybody near my age, so I don't know.
Like, imagine if you had a brother who was like 1 year older than you. Couldn't this guy like constantly be like stealing your girls?
I could see it, yeah.
All right.
Right? So the Cold War was fought over, right? So, yeah, I just refuse
Us
to
being able to
accept-
project out that our system was better than theirs was like a key part of winning the Cold War.
And again, importantly, not just that it was better because it was like academically more elegant in its representation, but it was better because, in fact, if you were just trying to get a ham sandwich, you were better off doing that in our political and economic system than in theirs. In other words, there continued to be a direct line.
The tankies are going to be mad at you for that.
The
tankies. There's a little Stalinist movement coming up on the.
Oh no, he didn't learn that from me, did he? I hope not. Oh shit, we internet poison brained him.
On my left. Great. I'm just saying, you're gonna get in trouble on tanky Twitter for saying that it was better. They had good ham sandwiches, I heard, behind the iron.
You know, maybe there's some decent ham sandwiches out there, but it was not a place I'd want to go to the grocery. Right? The Cold War was fought over, right?
Damn. I'm out of revive, bruh. Wait, what level are you on?
I'm where you are right now. I'm about to actually win it. Yeah.
Wait, no.
I feel it.
No, you're not.
I feel it.
Hold on. You're on. Hold on. To be clear, you're on Capella,
I'm on the Capella
Magna.
Magna. Yep.
What character are you playing?
How do I see his name? The guy who does the damage with the axe.
The guy who does the damage with the axe.
Yeah, him. You were just on him. Yep.
Lama Ladonna. What's the best character guy? I really like the devil guy.
I really like Llama.
Shut the fuck up.
You're
a noob. So why the fuck would I even care what you like?
Why do I care? Get snark.
How are you? What floor are you on right now?
Hold on, I gotta see. Let me tell you. I'm on floor 4 out of 5, and I have 126 HP.
Oh my god, you play the HP cards?
Well, I only did it one time because I'm huge combo in.
Oh my god, you're actually such a cringe lord.
They call me the combo king.
In character select, press up, down, left, right, A, B, and you'll unlock Alucard. Is that true?
I don't know, I haven't done
Or is that guy
heard
trolling
of
me?
that.
Konami combo, vampire crawler. He's lying. Fuck you.
How can you lie?
Continuing our list of bad breaking news updates, this particular one is tragic and chilling in equal parts. As you may have heard by now, yesterday in Maine, there was another fatal shooting by ICE agents. But now we have a public statement from Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security, and it reads like a murder confession. In other words, that the Trump administration committed cold-blooded murder. That's the budding consensus not just of liberal political commentators, but lawyers, legal scholars, and journalists, that the Trump administration effectively admitted to murdering a man in cold blood. And we have to talk about this. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go.
Okay.
All right, folks, in situations like these, unless we have literal video evidence from start to finish right out the gate, I try to wait before giving my opinion on it. I want the evidence to percolate. That's what responsible political commentators do.
But
well, this statement from the Homeland Security Department is just so chilling and so resolute that now we really have to talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Again, as you may have heard, there was another fatal shooting yesterday in Maine. I want to read to you the statement that Trump's Homeland Security Department offered for themselves in their own defense, okay?
Okay.
On July 13th, 2026, at approximately 7 a.m. Eastern, ICE was conducting targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal. An illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle. ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. I want to stop right there. You probably noticed already.
Hold on. Generally, I believe for law enforcement purposes, my cop slapper should know this. You can't just shoot at people that are trying to flee unless you've seen them commit a violent felony or you have like reason to believe that they will commit a like violent crime.
Like that they're gonna go kill someone.
Yeah, that they're gonna go do something. Yeah. You can't just like if somebody's fleeing, you can't just shoot at them.
Yeah.
Probably don't even have to say it, but just in case, I'm going to. This is a damning sentence. The officer apparently didn't fear for his own life. He just assumed that this quote-unquote illegal alien fleeing the scene by their own admission, not trying to attack anybody but attempting to flee, was somehow some sort of public threat. And so the officer discharged his weapon. The driver of the vehicle was struck, and emergency services were immediately contacted. He passed away from his injuries. The Biddeford Police Department and FBI responded to the scene. DHS OIG, that's the Office of Inspector General, has been notified, and like all discharge of firearms, this will be investigated. This is a developing situation, and we will update the public when more information is available. As friend of the show Harry Sisson notes, so you murdered him. That's sure what this sounds like.
That is kind of what it
not
sounds like.
Well, we had a credible reason to fear for the officer's safety, not he attacked the officer. It sure sounds like
kind
the
of just
victim
killed him, yeah.
was murdered. As Midas Touch notes, they just described murder. John Harwood, journalist, says this is a murder confession. David J. Byer, a libertarian, immigration expert at the Cato Institute, says, whoa, DHS does not say that the agent feared for his life, just the vague concern for public safety. So he killed him just because he did not want him in America, not because of any specific threat to agents?
Not good.
George Conway, a lawyer, a conservative lawyer, says, quote, the vehicle attempted to flee the scene and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Fleeing. The vehicle was driving away. That's murder. A legal resident of the United States is now dead. The threat to public safety is ICE. It must be eliminated.
Wait. Was the person killed?
It was not who they were going after, if that's what you're going to ask.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just realized. Hold on. Wait. wait. Or did he say and I missed it? I'm sorry. The language is very specific. Okay. Was conducting targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal. An illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle. ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene and, fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Were these two different vehicles that they're talking about here, or did they know for a fact? Wait, how is this a U.S. citizen? Or
this was a person who was a... Oh, man.
As friend of the show, Harry Sisson notes...
Oh, fuck it.
Say it! Go, what?
No, fuck it. I forget.
No.
So you murdered him. That's sure what this sounds like. Not a, well, we had a credible reason to fear for the officer's safety, not he attacked the fleeing. The vehicle was driving away. That's murder. A legal resident of the United States is now dead. The threat to public safety is ICE. It must be eliminated. Folks, this is chilling. It's just chilling. We're going to look at some other reactions here in addition to some of the additional reporting. John Favreau of Pod Save America. Wow. Even DHS doesn't say the driver tried to hit their agents. They shot and killed a father in front of his wife and child simply because he drove away. Also crucial facts. The wife and child were witnesses. Harry Sisson again saying this is ICE admitting that they murdered an innocent man in broad daylight. They offered no defense. Brian Krasenstein says it appears that Trump's Department of Homeland Security just admitted to homicide in Maine. They literally just said that they shot a guy fleeing the scene with a 3-year-old. Did they actually think that makes things better? John Harwood again saying this is a murder confession. Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari. ICE murdered a 26-year-old in front of his wife and daughter. It's just pure evil. This statement makes clear that there was no threat whatsoever. Our taxpayer dollars are funding a fascist murder machine. Abolish ICE and prosecute anyone who carried out, ordered, or enabled crimes. Keith Olbermann says the DHS has just confessed its agent alone tried, convicted, and executed a man who posed no lethal threat to him or other officers. Murder and conspiracy charges must be brought. And it goes on and on and on and on and on like this. Norm Ornstein, violating your explicit policies of requiring body cameras and not shooting into moving vehicles. The result, cold-blooded murder. Odds that you will do anything about either the violation of policies or the murder are close to zero. Because yes, folks, the reporting is the ICE agents weren't wearing body cameras. There were other witnesses, again, the wife and the 3-year-old, and they discharged a weapon into a moving vehicle. Joan Sebastian Guerrero is the name of the victim, 26 years old. Mike Nellis, friend of the show, says this is about as close to admitting murder as ICE is going to get. Horrible shit. Again, just goes on and on and on and on and on like this. So let's take a look at some of the other reporting. I will note that this has generated a lot of backlash, a lot of protests in Maine against incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins, who has enabled this fascist administration every step of the way, and yet another reason why she should lose her job in November and be voted out by any Democrat.
17 minutes past the hour right now. Anti-ICE protests outside the office of Senator Susan Collins after a deadly shooting in Maine involving an ICE agent. This is Bedford, where the shooting happened about 25 minutes south of Portland. Our correspondent Alexis McAdams is reporting live here in New York City. She's got the latest details on what is happening there. Alexis?
Hey, Sandra. So as you can see here on your screen, this is a live look at what's going on in Maine. We know federal agents are trying to piece together everything that happened as witnesses tell local media that ICE agents surrounded a car and repeatedly ordered the driver to get out. Then seconds later, we're told they heard gunshots, and it was also captured on surveillance video.
So, Ed Krasenstein, Democratic pundit on Twitter, says, wow, Maine residents are marching on the streets.
I've always said this. One of the worst things ever is when somebody is like presenting their side of a story that might have like two sides or is controversial. Mm-hmm. But like when they present their side, it already sounds like really bad. That's always like the worst.
ICE apparently killed a man in cold blood in Bedford. America is sick and tired of the murderous, tyrannical U.S. government under Trump. Again, as Adam Cochran notes, ICE killed a man, pulling him from his car and shooting him unarmed in front of his 3-year-old daughter. ICE must be held accountable. Senators like Susan Collins, who continue to vote for ICE funding without change while expressing concern, need to be replaced. Because, of course, that's all she did. She issued a statement that she is concerned. That's it. That's her
Maybe
buzzword.
she is
I'm
concerned.
concerned that Donald Trump is a fascist, or that Donald Trump tried to extort a foreign ally into investigating Joe Biden to influence the outcome of an election. I'm concerned that Donald Trump won't accept the results of the 2020 election. I'm concerned that he pardoned January 6 rioters. I'm concerned. And she never does a goddamn thing about it. Useless, fascist enabler. objectively morally inferior to any Democratic politician. And I said that, as bad as some Democratic politicians and candidates for office are, Susan Collins, by definition, is worse for this country.
True.
And she does not need to be in the U.S. Senate. So vote her out. She's not going to do a goddamn thing for you or to check this lawless, fascist, corrupt administration. She's going to say, oh, I'm concerned, and then Trump's going to get away with everything. But let's continue. Oh, I actually have the statement pulled up right here. The shooting in Biddeford requires a full and impartial investigation of what happened. It's my understanding that the Biddeford police have secured the site and that the FBI is investigating. And she's, of course, catching a lot of shit for it, as well she should. So, brace yourselves. We got to look at some of the reporting here again. David J. Byer is a great resource for this. He is a stalwart defender of immigration rights, but again, he is a right-wing libertarian for the Cato Institute. Like, this is not some hippie liberal communist, okay? ICE shooting victim in Maine was a 26-year-old man from Colombia with a work authorization and a social security number, likely an asylum applicant. It'll be interesting to see how he came to be on ICE's radar. David J. Byer, a theme in ICE shootings is putting their bodies in front of operational vehicles. This practice is dangerous for the officers and manufactures a reason for them to shoot drivers if they make one wrong move. One witness says the victim said, quote, I tried to stop before dying. In this excerpt, he rushed to the window where he saw an SUV trying to ram a small white car in an intersection. Moments later, agents in vests stopped the car and pulled the driver out. Quote, he was bleeding profusely from the head. Boucher said later, Monday morning, quote, he was talking. He said, I tried to stop. Boucher watched in disbelief as the man's legs stopped moving as he lay on the ground. He believes he watched him die. Again, ICE agents fired about 6 shots at the man while he was driving. ICE agents know that killing a driver does not stop a vehicle. And we have footage here of them pulling him out of the car. They still dropped him on the ground and handcuffed him after a bullet went through his head.
Jesus Christ!
Unbelievable. Actually, it's not unbelievable. I don't know why I said that.
I feel like it's a little disturbing. Hold on.
Him on the ground and handcuffed him after a bullet went through his head.
Jesus.
Pretty bleak.
Unbelievable. Actually, it's not unbelievable. I don't know why I said that. Shocking, but not surprising. Sam Stein of the Bulwarks' video from Press Herald of the ICE shooting this morning. I said the victim was trying to run over an agent with his car. So let's take a look.
Oh, we do have some footage.
Objectively, this is a video of a car slowly turning and ICE agents walking alongside it. Maybe there's more video out there, but hard to understand how we could end up with another deadly shooting here. Image from today's ICE-involved shooting shows bullet holes in the vehicle's window. The image was sent to me by someone on the ground before the police covered up the scene. That's liberal and legal and political commentator Aaron Parnas. Mayor Mamdani weighing in. Of course, he's mayor of New York City. It's not in Maine, but he has a very good, strong public statement. He says this morning in Biddeford, Maine, a 26-year-old man said goodbye to his wife and daughter and left for work. Moments later, he was dead, shot in the head by ICE agents. The second man ICE has killed in 6 days. ICE is killing our neighbors. ICE cannot be reformed. Abolish ICE. You know who else agrees? Legendary Republican operative, Bill Kristol. Says abolish ICE now. And Bill Kristol is right. So I want to look into some other reporting from the New York Times, and then I'll give my final thoughts on this. ICE agents kill person in vehicle in Maine. Homeland Security says. A federal immigration agent shot and killed a person in a vehicle on Monday in the coastal city of Biddeford, Maine, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The state's governor, the city's mayor, and other elected officials said they were seeking details and demanded a full investigation of the killing. It was the second fatal shooting in a week involving an ICE agent firing into a vehicle. DHS, they regurgitate what DHS said. We already read the statement. In a separate communication received by some members of Congress, the department used more pointed language, saying the driver had, quote, weaponized his vehicle toward law enforcement, but they didn't say that in the public statement. As of Monday evening, no video evidence confirming the government's version of events has emerged. So again, this is as of yesterday evening. No video evidence has been produced to support the DHS on this. Since last year, federal agents have fired on more than 20 people, many of whom were shot in their vehicles. In some cases, video evidence has undermined the accounts initially provided by federal officials because they lied. The man who was killed was Joan Sebastian Guerrero, according to Matthew Felling, a spokesperson for Senator Angus King of Maine. Felling said that King, an independent, has spoken earlier in the day with Mark Wayne Mullen, the Homeland Security Secretary. Mullen initially told the senator that the person who had shot had been ordered to leave the country and had been the target of an arrest warrant. But, according to the spokesman, Mullen called the senator hours later to correct information, telling him the driver had not been the target. Well, he said they were looking for someone, essentially, and that the person they shot was not the person they were looking for.
Okay. That first tweet was phrased like so... I see everything now through the... after all the deposition prep and everything, I see everything through the eyes of, like, deposition statements, okay? I feel like that first tweet, it was very strategically framed, wasn't it? ICE was serving a warrant at a house when they believe a person fled the back and escaped in a vehicle. ICE then conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle, and then the person, like, drove away or whatever, tried to kill. Was it not the same vehicle? Like, was there any connection whatsoever between this guy and the guy that they were purportedly looking for? Because it sounds like this was, like, a random fucking dude who just, like, was in his car, drove to work, and then ICE was like, sorry, buddy, today's your day, you're gonna die. And that was it.
Pretty sure the daughter and the wife were in the car as well. Because you see him, like, on scene crying.
Okay. Why did Mamdani tweet out? Was Mamdani just, like, fucking sympathy farming then, or what? Because I that's what I thought you just said. But then Mamdani tweeted out, This morning in Biddeford or whatever, Maine, a 26-year-old man said goodbye to his wife and daughter and left for work. So
he must have been sympathy farming because I'm pretty sure the kid was on scene. Is what?
I heard that the wife and the kid were on scene, but I don't know if he was like right outside the house or
in
whatever.
their vehicles. In some cases, video evidence has undermined the accounts initially provided by federal officials because they lie. The man who was killed was Joan Sebastian Guerrero, according to Matthew Felling, a spokesperson for Senator Angus King of Maine. Felling said that King, an independent, had spoken earlier in the day with Mark Wayne Mullen, the Homeland Security Secretary. Mullen initially told the senator that the person who had shot had been ordered to leave the country and had been the target of an arrest warrant. But, according to the spokesman, Mullen called the senator hours later to correct information, telling him the driver had not been the target. Well, he said they were looking for someone, essentially, and that the person they shot was not the person they were looking for, Felling said. It's unclear whether the person who was shot had been in the country illegally. The Embassy of Colombia said in a statement that it was helping the family of a Colombian national who died in Bedford. The embassy said that it requested additional information from DHS, quote, regarding the circumstances surrounding this lamentable death. So, here's my assessment on this. We're still trying to gather information. ICE has to be abolished. ICE has to go. There's just no room for this. And listen, I know that there is some concern, strategically speaking, in terms of electoral politics, electoral strategy, about using the language abolish ICE because they'll come back and say, Republicans will say, see, but this person wants open borders and undocumented immigrants who are bloodthirsty criminals to run rampant over the community. They want no immigrations and customs enforcement. No, we don't want the agency. We don't want the agency. We need to abolish the agency, zero out the agency. But I want to be clear. No one supports open borders. No one
I feel like you should just have, we should abolish ICE in order to have a better immigrant, detention and expulsion program. ICE is failing its mission. These motherfuckers had so much fucking money approved for their job, and they suck shit at it, right? Democrats need to, please, Ossoff or Newsom, somebody guide us, please, God, okay? We should have a border, and we should be allowed to deport people in this country illegally. This should be a thing that I would almost go as far as to say that these are uncompromisable positions, that every single American citizen, member of a nation state, should be on board with saying, we have borders, we have citizens, and we need to be able to remove people that aren't supposed to be here. That should just be a very, very simple thing that we can all agree on. If that is ICE's mission, Interior Customs Enforcement, is that what ICE stands for? Or is it Immigration and Customs Enforcement?
Immigration.
It's immigration, sorry. But it might be called that, but I think ICE only does interior work, right? ICE is not like border patrol or whatever else. So when we say abolish ICE, it's not like we want to get rid of all border enforcement or whatever. It can't be that this is the result of our $90 billion advance. The insane amount of fucking money is just so stupid. We don't have the results. We don't have the numbers. There's just no reason. It's just, everything is so fucked.
Supports no legal enforcement of immigration in this country. Nobody supports abolishing all of those things. We want the agency gone. ICE has not been with us from the beginning of this country. Before ICE, which was a creature of the Bush administration.
Yeah, like what he's saying. And he should, yeah. And we should even be more unapologetic about it. We should be able to enforce the borders and everything, right? Don't you want to? Because if you want to, why the fuck would you want ICE in its current form? Because clearly,
not good.
They're not capable of doing anything because all they've done is fuck everything up more and more. It's not like they've helped anything. And more Americans are against ICE now than probably at any point in U.S. history. So,
in the post 9/11 world, INS did what ICE did. We have previous, less corrupt, less abusive, less fascist agencies. We support immigration enforcement, but we do not support ICE. ICE needs to be abolished. It needs to be thoroughly investigated. There needs to be a forensic autopsy on this agency that ruthlessly punishes the thugs that broke the law working for it. If there are good ICE agents out there, and I'm sure that there are, who don't commit civil liberties violations, human rights violations, and don't murder people, then we can relocate them to different agencies where they can do their job. But ICE, as an institution, has been so thoroughly corrupted, it's got to go. I am sensitive to the electoral strategy here, and I'm not saying that every person should be running on abolishing ICE, because perhaps that won't work in a purple district in a purple state, or in a purple state if you're running for statewide office. But I'm telling you that you should urge the Democratic Party collectively, in terms of what they do with their power once they get it, to abolish ICE. This agency can't be redeemed. So,
true.
As more information comes out, I'm sure we'll keep tracking this, but again, DHS has effectively admitted to murder here. The agent didn't fear for his life. He had a vague fear for public safety, apparently based on nothing. They've already been lying. They've been caught in multiple lies about this. Oh, yeah, he weaponized his vehicle. We're not going to say that publicly. We're going to tell senators that privately. That seems to be a lie then. Also, he was absolutely the target. oh, actually, no, he wasn't the target. He was just another person. He wasn't who we were looking for. So, what per usual, the Trump administration doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. We should assume that they're lying unless they've proven otherwise. But here again, it seems like they've admitted to cold-blooded murder, and there should be political and legal consequences for that from Democratic lawmakers at the local and state level, and certainly from federal Democrats if and when we give them back power. So let's give them back power, and let's urge them, once they get that power and once we win the presidency in 2028, abolish ICE. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.
Let me know what you think in the comments. Boy!
Our Republican Superman.
Shut up. Jesus. Oh, God. Now I'm going to get super triggered tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Reportedly.
Oh, God.
Leftists are flooding the streets. There is rumors, I don't know if this is true, that ICE is reportedly halting most vehicle immigration stops following the 2 fatal shootings until agents get increased training on these kind of stops. I don't think that they should do that. I think that they should come out and they should say, yeah, we killed 2 people and we're going to kill more if you keep trying to drive your car into us. That's what I wish they would come out and say.
Twitch.tv.
Anything other than that is capitulation.
Twitch.tv.
And we're also keeping a close eye on what's happening in
I think it's a huge mistake to allow these people to like craft the narrative and to like invent this.
Maine. There are growing protests.
Huge mistake, by the way. Colossal fucking mistake to do this. I don't know. Like, they never announced this. I feel like this could be one of those instances where, you know, information like this gets out and they just spread it everywhere. So I'm not sure whether this is even true yet. But people saying that, they absolutely should not do that.
For now.
Yeah, I beat Capella
until
Magna,
agents get
I'm going to do it this run. Fuck you.
increased training.
Because, and here's the thing, here's the reason why. It's because it shows these people that having outrage about something works. And now it's basically, it gives them a reward for chimping out over nothing.
Fearing for public safety.
Yeah,
we know that there are investigations that are underway right now into exactly what happened. Now, DHS says that last week's deadly...
Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd be sending in the National Guard and rounding all these fuckers up and dragging them off the streets and putting them in camps. I would be. The moment that any of these people get in the street and start blocking traffic, I would be immediately shutting them down. Like, I hate these fucking people. And I would be going as hard as I possibly could. And the more upset and the sadder that they got and the more angry they got, the more I would do it. And if they started being violent, well, that's the way it goes. Don't do it. And follow the fucking law. Don't go and act like you can do whatever you want. It enables the behavior. I think the argument might be that these situations might get bystanders hurt more than anything to do with the immigrants. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's more to think about it, but overall, I don't think that they should roll anything back. I think the traffic stops are totally fine, and I don't think any innocents have gotten hurt so far, and it's because the people got shot. So, problem solved. Even in Canada, police can shoot you for driving at them. Even in Canada, that's bad. It's illegal to shoot to block public roadways, even if you're protesting. Why do we allow this? We allow this because we're cucked. We allow this because we're cucked. I tell people that I think that it should be the law that you can literally just run these people over if they're standing in the street. That's what I think you should be able to do.
Come on, bro.
I think that if they're standing in the middle of the street and they're blocking traffic and you hit them with your car, you should have gotten out of the way. You need to get a permit. You need to go to the police. There is an entire process of doing that. Martin Luther King did this, by the way. He got permits for his marches. So...
You do understand that they got, like, arrested and... You understand that, like, the most famous MLK marches that caused civil rights to succeed in the United States happened because of police chiefs like Amsongold, right? That the police chiefs that were strategic in dealing with the civil rights marches, their main thing was only arrests, don't hit or attack any black people, don't make a scene, be cordial, be peaceful, don't give them an excuse, and lock them up. And that it wasn't until you got an insane police chief who was like, eat them with the dogs, that everything completely got fucked for Amsongold's team. And people are like, well, maybe this fucking, maybe the Jim Crow racism shit, maybe this actually isn't that good. So even from a strategic standpoint, he's wrong.
Whenever they're not able to do that, they're saying that they have a moral authority that is greater than Martin Luther King protesting against segregation. Protesting for civil rights. Well, I don't think that they have a higher moral authority than that. It's embarrassing. They should pay for the vehicle damages? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Run them over and then they have to pay for the vehicle damages. I like the sound of that. That's a good idea. What about the illegals that are wrongfully detained? With the illegals that are wrongfully detained?
Who cares? Get rid of them anyway.
There is not a single instance of
them
the
being
police
wrongfully detained.
doing any law enforcement action that has a 100% certainty of success. There will be false positives, there will be mistakes, and this is necessary. Not necessary. I don't think necessary is the correct answer. This is inevitable. This will always happen every single time.
Thanos.
It doesn't matter whether it's bank robberies, murders, rapes, or child molestation. There are mistakes, false positives, people that get arrested, they get detained, and that's what happens. Illegals. The person said legals. But yeah, not an illegal. But yeah, I'm just saying in general, that's the way I see it, right? More than anything, that's really where I'm at.
Okay.
What do you want me to say? That's twitch.tv.
That's twitch.tv, baby. What do you want him to say?
Wait, you don't need... Oh, you've got an 80 curse. Okay, good.
80 curse?
Top right.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I can't believe you lucked out. You probably got the luckiest
I didn't luck
run.
out. I had just a good
You probably got
build.
the luckiest run in the fucking world.
I just get good builds. What do you want me to say?
I'm about to stack so much fucking crown.
I'm about to stack so much dome on you. You know what I'm saying?
Like the M.
Okay. God damn it. And now we have... I should have played this one first. Fuck.
Doesn't know what he's
When are you
talking about.
fighting Palumbo's guy.
What?
When are you debating Palumbo's guy?
Tomorrow morning.
Nice.
He's gonna be a demon.
He just goes on the timeline.
Who is it?
Well, what about like the image? Like you can say it's a fake image. Maybe you can say it's a fake image.
And whatever his algorithm shows him, he just fucking spits out. And
Meanwhile, you're on. This is the. I'm so sick of hearing this from Hasan. I can listen to this from Destiny because Destiny spends like 4 hours reading boring documents. But I don't want to hear this from Hasan. Hasan spends time. This is what Hasan does. He's either spending time reading articles about himself, talking about himself, eating, or browsing Twitter, or watching YouTube with minimal to no commentary.
I didn't see this.
That's what you're doing. It's not that different than me.
True.
It's really not.
Unfortunately.
So you're on Twitter complaining about me being on Twitter.
whatever, dude. He's a fucking animal. He's a dumb, low IQ, disgusting little animal.
He's just like Trump, by the way.
Who? Hasan?
I called out his
he is.
favorite Terrys, and he really took it personally, didn't
You
he?
heard he started... Oh, you were in here when I
That's
said that. He started using the term nasty.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Like even calling him low IQ, terrible. These are all Trump phrases.
All your favorite little Terrys. It's too bad. I just really don't know. But anyway, yeah, very, very funny that he's talking about him being paid to go out there. This guy calling you, this is the guy calling you low. Oh God, is there something else? Is this another one?
Did you read a lot of books when you were growing up?
Oh no.
I read a decent amount. I don't really read as much anymore, but I did when I was growing up.
Any books stick out in your head as memorable ones?
Oh no.
Name 10 books.
What did he do for school? He couldn't think of a single poli-sci class or anything.
I don't know.
Or...
I have no like
That's just
immediate
crazy
books that come to mind. I'm also terrible at recall in general. If you ask me about any songs, for example, I can never tell you any of the lyrics.
I am so dumb. I'm the one that's
It's total
dumb.
Amsongold victory.
I'm so stupid. This is so embarrassing. I don't even know what to say. Name 2 books. Those are kind of the
I just don't understand how, because in a poli-sci class, there's got to be like standard fucking some
in, like,
Rawls
regular
or Hobbs or
class.
any. Yeah, literally any. He went to college. Didn't he go to college?
Yes.
Don't you have like
touts that all the
selected
time.
readings or something? This is the equivalent of like Trump's like, I love the Bible. What's your favorite verse? It's like all of them.
Brian Griffin. I don't think it's Sonic.
That's a good one. It's also so cringe too for him to be like, dude, you saw that picture, right? Oh my god.
Oh, the sitting on the train one?
Yeah. Oh, like how could you virtue signal like that after that fuck up? Like it's so like when was the last time on stream? Maybe he does bring it up, but I'm just not aware. But like when was the last time on stream Hasan's brought up like something he's read? He's like, oh, I was reading this lately, guys. Like, God, oh my god, it's so fucking cringe. Oh, Jesus.
Really, guys? We really had to go this far. Oh my god.
Oh, finally, another reader in the family. You know, these are some of my favorite books and authors. Oh, what are you reading right now? Oh, boy. Well, I'm sort of between books right now. Yeah? What was the last thing you read? He's got you on the ropes now. Well, I'm actually rereading a lot of stuff. Yeah? Like what? Just tap out. The classics, you know? Going back to the,
What
basics,
matters,
really.
yeah.
Words on the printed page. Thank you, Steve Gutenberg. Right? What is this, oak? Oh, I don't even think it's oak.
Have you do you know what the millennial version of this is? Who knows it, guys? Where my
Millennial
king's at?
version?
The millennial version of this moment. Yeah, kind of. Oh, close. Yeah, people listening to you got the radio, play songs, you hear a song, you're like, oh yeah, I really like this band, and like, oh really? What's your favorite album?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
what's your favorite song from them?
well, it would be Can you name one song besides like the one radio hit they have?
The song.
Rip. And then it's all ogre.
GG.
Complete.
They're done. Dunzo.
Completely and totally ogre.
Mission detained for over an hour, first by some settlers in the West Bank and then also by the Israeli Defense Force, and that the tension continued when they arrived on scene. First of all, I want to talk to you about your experience, but right before we get into that, we just watched Benjamin Netanyahu respond on Meet the Press to some of the experiences that
you should look into Hasan's credentials, by the way. What do you mean? Are you implying he didn't actually graduate? There's no way he would lie about that.
Had I'm sure you've heard it by now because you were on Meet the Press, I suspect, earlier today. What did you have to say for Benjamin Netanyahu's commentary on this?
Well, they're shameful. Dustin, you're not a fan of a band, even if you only know the radio hits. Well, no, I mean you can, but no, actually, I don't actually know if I'd say you would be.
No, you just like that song.
Yeah, you just say you like the songs or whatever. Like, oh yeah, like I've heard like this from, whatever these bands. Like, yeah, I hear this shit on the radio. It's just funny when people pretend they're like fans of a band, and it's like, you mean you heard these things or whatever, or like you heard this song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just don't like overrepresent it. It reminds me of It reminds me of when I was debating that one guy who ended up anti-fanning me or whatever, we were disagreeing on
Tale as old as time.
Israel-Palestine thing, and he had like 6 or whatever sources for his shit, and I was like, oh shit, well let's like dig through some of these, and we were going through, and I could tell that he hadn't, I could tell he didn't have he had never read these things before, and then I found out afterwards that he had read the Finkelstein book, like the not the Hollow Hoax, that's a neo-Nazi thing, right? Is it the Holocaust Complex? Am I making this up? His big one on why the Holocaust is used by Jews to farm sympathy or whatever. But what happened is he sourced Finkelstein's bibliography instead of just sourcing the Finkelstein book. So he hadn't read the underlying stuff. This one around that time I got into that big thing, or not big thing, but like I feel like if you are reading a Wikipedia and then you quote from Wikipedia, you should quote, and the source should be cited as Wikipedia. If you want to do a secondary citation or whatever, I don't know how the fuck you would do a secondary one, then you can do a secondary citation. But I think you should cite Wikipedia, because going to the underlying source and then citing the underlying source, it's not really what's happening. Because generally, especially for historians, but probably for literally anything, if you are going to do the work of researching something, then your selection of material tells me a lot about what your experience is and what your perspective is on a particular thing. It informs you of that. But if you're citing sources that you never found yourself, and you're just citing what the Wikipedia cited, well, that's not really honest. But if you tell me that you're citing the Wikipedia, okay, then it helps me understand more, like what you're actually reading. And again, that's not necessarily bad. like obviously it'd be preferable if you knew everything and were doing all your own research. But like I think it's a little bit dishonest to just go into somebody else's bibliography and then cite their sources for the thing. If that makes sense, yeah. Jesus.
Both Netanyahu's comments and the Israeli ambassador. First of all, these were not juvenile delinquents. There is actually was an Israeli as part of our delegation, one of the security officials and another person that was a expert in settler violence, and they gave an interview of what happened. So if people don't believe me, if they don't believe the New York Times photographer's account, they can listen to that account. And what happened was that there were violent settlers who surrounded our van, brandishing M4s and fully armed, kicking the tires of the van, blockading our van in, wiping the windows, taunting us, laughing at us, videotaping us. Why were they there? Because we had the audacity to go to see the Zanuta village that had been burned and destroyed by Yanan Levy, who is an extremist Israeli settler. By the way, we also met earlier, a few hours earlier, Ottawa's brother, Khalil, who Yanan Levy murdered in cold blood. It's on a phone. You can actually see the video. And this person is out free, basically a rogue vigilante. He burned down this Zanuta village. And he sent likely his thugs to detain us because he didn't want us to take the footage and tell the world about what happened in Zanuta and what happened at that elementary school. So we're there for 20, 25 minutes, concerned, but, I think, okay, the police will come, the military will come. So the IDF shows up, and I think, okay, great. They're going to clear us. We're going to get on our way. And they, to my shock, further the blockade. They watch as these settlers call reinforcements. More of their settler friends come in to have cars parked blocking us in. And 4 female soldiers of the IDF block us. At this point, our security person who speaks Hebrew and the Israeli gentleman go to speak to the officers, explain that it's an American delegation, explain that we're in touch with the American embassy, and the soldiers basically curse them out and say, we don't care that they're Americans. They're on our land. They're on the settlers' land right now, and you will stay here. Now, fortunately, we talked to David Brownstein at the embassy. He's a career person, number 2 person there. He finally got to someone high up in the Israeli government, and they send a police force. And by the time the police got there, about 75 minutes in, the violent settlers rushed away and the IDF rushed away, and we were allowed to go on. But it was a 75-minute detention, and Netanyahu needs to prosecute Yanan Levy. They need to prosecute these extreme settlers. They need to open an investigation into the IDF. But what was even more offensive than Netanyahu's responses, and knowing that I was detained, an American congressman, was the Israeli ambassador's responses on Face the Nation. He says, how dare Ro Khanna go on a trip to the West Bank, Palestinian-led. He informed us he was going, but he didn't take up our offer to meet and coordinate with the Israeli government, as if that justifies being detained. I did that on purpose. I've been to Israel multiple times. I wanted to see the West Bank from the lens of the Palestinians. And that does not give the Israeli government the ability to detain an American congressman and American citizens. And if this would have happened anywhere else in the world almost, with a few exceptions, you would have the ambassador apologizing to the American people, not making excuses.
Yeah, this would be a major international incident under any other circumstance, under normal circumstances.
No, that's not
the question I have for you is, you've gotten additional insight that unfortunately many Congress members do not have, the perspective of the Palestinians in the West Bank and the brief trip that you had to the West Bank. What would you say if I were to ask you, like, an unaccountable force that is backed by U.S. taxpayers and backed by U.S. tax dollars gets to do this to an American congressperson? What would that force do to the average Palestinian, which, by the way, is, of course, illegal because the Israeli occupation of the West Bank is illegal?
I had no idea how bad it was until I went there. I've never felt my race and being brown more than being in Palestine, in the West Bank.
I just want to say...
I don't know why I said that.
Is he from California? Is he from there? Like
he is. He is.
This is just.
Oh. Fuck, he's originally from somewhere else. Let me look it up.
You said that you and Loner experienced the same thing as Ro Khanna. Would you call it being detained? I mean, I would say we got detained 100% by the fucking creepy weirdo settler dude. Yeah, the guy who took our passports and everything.
From Philly.
Then the IDF showed up and talked to us for a bit, but I wouldn't say the IDF also detained us. I think they came, they showed up, and then they did a little investigation, and then we all left after.
Do you think you were free to leave?
When
the IDF showed up, do you think you were free to go?
Not necessarily, but I mean, the only reason they were there is because
you were detained.
Well, the guy, sure, but we were detained by the guy.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the detainment moved.
Well, I think
if a state patrol car shows up,
let's say you detain me. Let's say you detain me personally. Sure. You think I just murdered somebody? Yeah, you citizen's arrest. Yes. And then let's say that you call the police, and then the police show up, and then they're like, "Okay, hold on, we're gonna figure out what's going on." And then they do the little investigation, and then finally, like, "Okay, you get the fuck out of here, both of you." I wouldn't say that like the police showed up and detained me as well. I mean, like, I guess like technically it's true, but like. Not really. Like they're investigating.
It's as true as Alex Peretti brought a gun to a protest, right? Like they're both. It's an inflammatory way to say it, but it is true.
I mean that's.
But it's retarded.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Why can settlers detain people like this normal who give them the authority? Why can they detain you? Usually because they carry M4s or AR-15s. Like, you can run if you want, I guess, and then it's up to whether or not they want to shoot you. And then I don't know at that point.
Occupied West Bank. And what I would plead with people is put aside your ideological abstractions. Put aside, whether you're pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, and just hear me out on the facts on the ground, because I didn't go there leaving as a politician. I left as a human being.
Aww.
I saw in Hebron the streets where Palestinians had shops, and above them lived the settlers. And the Palestinians had to put a metal barrier because the settlers would throw metal parts and rotten vegetables at them all day long. And now that they have some of those metal barriers, settlers still find the cracks to urinate on them and to put acid on them in the streets of Hebron. I talked to a father who was an American citizen whose 14-year-old was killed by the IDF. The father said, yes, my son, he's an American, Palestinian American, and he was out and he did throw some stones. And he did throw some stones at cars on the street. But the IDF soldier gunned him down with 21 bullets. 21 bullets. And he was talking with his wife about how they still have the bedroom of this 14-year-old son not redone. I talked to a family in Al-Khair who night after night sees settler violence, and their daughter, who was 18-year-old and studying to go to a university, had to flee in the night because settlers, while I was there the night before, were rattling on their doors, yelling curse words, attacking the house, and they put an Israeli flag on this Palestinian home that I was in. I talked to the brother, Khalil, of Adwa, who was shot in cold blood by Yinan Levy, and Khalil says that he sees Yinan Levy 100 feet away from his village, and he can do nothing. I talked to a school principal who saw a shooter shoot at his school, like we see in America, and he showed me the site of the blood of a 15-year-old Palestinian kid. And I said, what happened to that settler who shot the school? He said, Congressman, the police, the IDF never even talked to me. They talked to no one in the school. He does not know whether there was an investigation. I talked to the mayor in Beit Zohar, who talked about how people in the summer come to him saying they don't have enough water to wash their clothes. This is a Christian majority town who do not have enough water to flush their toilets if they just go urinate and don't take a bigger dump because of water shortage. The Palestinian Christians in Beit Zohar get 50 liters per capita of water, which is 50 liters less than the UN standard of what is required for a decent life, a dignified life, while the settlers just kilometers away get 400 liters per capita. And the Beit Zohar and Bethlehem are barred from drilling for more water under their own land. I could go on and on, Hasan, but the one thing I hope I can do
I assume they're barred from drilling because they usually drill and make holes in tunnels or whatever, yeah? Or is it just like ultra retarded barred from drilling?
I don't know what is there water to drill for?
I have no idea. I don't know what's in the ground.
I've never heard that in my life. In the late 50s, I believe. I think it might be mid to late 50s. I don't remember if it was before or after the Suez Crisis. There were these small series of skirmishes or wars that were fought up the Jordanian River because people kept fighting in order to like. There's just no water. There's not enough water in Israel, and people have issues when it comes to what do you call it when you like fork water from a river?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You have to like divert water from the river. Because you need water for your place. But the problem is that if you do too many of these like diversions or whatever, then obviously people downstream lose it all. But Israel had to fight wars until they could settle on what to do with river shit to the north because they don't have enough water down there. So I don't know what they're talking about drilling below. Like if he assumes there's some massive water table under there. If there is, I've never heard of that in my entire life. But I don't know.
Start to release some of these videos and talk about this is put aside your ideology. Look at the facts on the ground. It is apartheid. It is inhumane. It is cruel. If you support Israel, it is humiliating what is happening in the occupied West Bank. And you have
I'm going back to playing games on shows. If Hasan can just like not pay attention to fucking anything, and this guy's over here fucking virtue signaling his heart out, and Hasan's just like looking around at chat and glancing around, and I don't even know. It seems like I don't know. This is some ADHD crazy shit or something. I don't know. Jesus fuck. I should be able to play games when I'm doing interviews.
Police force and the IDF.
You should swap your thing at the top left, middle left. Your fucking magic card. You should do the armor persists. It's way dangerous.
Oh my god, you're such a loser.
Any issue with mana if you play your build right.
Oh my god, don't coach me, little bro. You just struggle. You probably got like 12 game facts open that you got through.
No,
is aligned by extremist settlers. In the same way, in Jim Crow, during the segregationist South, police were often aligned with the segregationists. This is not ideological. These are the facts, and any American who goes there will see this with their own eyes.
Wait. This better be a new article. You're banned. 6:15 p.m. This isn't new. This is a few hours old. I'm so curious if the Maduro or the voting machine. Oh, Jesus. Wait. Senior administration officials caution that Trump could still revise the address and that its contents could change before its expected Thursday night delivery. The speech was initially planned for Monday night. That afternoon, a meeting was held at the White House to discuss it. At that meeting, according to two officials, participants discussed Chinese and Venezuelan government efforts to influence the 2020 election, along with the security of U.S. voting machines. If we're seriously going to run it back to the Dominion fucking Hugo Chavez, the ghost of Chavez rigged voting machine shit.
Get snark.
Yeah, this is so your recognition of the Israeli apartheid is unfortunately not a commonly shared experience by the rest of the U.S. Congress. What is your message to your allies, both on the Democratic side, but even some of the other Congress members on the Republican side? What will it take for them to come to terms with the reality that every single humanitarian rights organization has recognized at this point that Israel is an apartheid state, that it maintains a very violent occupation over the lives of Palestinians that you now got a glimpse of in your brief experience in the West Bank?
I think they just need to go there. They need to go spend 2 days there. They need to go there, or they need to talk to Palestinian Americans who are there. You know, I talk to Palestinian Americans, millionaires, people who have big businesses. They go there, they have mansions in their house, and they tell me how, one of them told me how they went through a checkpoint and the guard started beating him and took it $9,300 from him because he said, "Do you speak Hebrew?" And the Palestinian American who's a millionaire said, "No, I don't speak Hebrew because I've been away from the place for 30 years." And they said, "No, you're lying. We're going to beat you." I mean, they should talk to the Palestinian Americans here who have go back to occupied West Bank, or they could spend 2 days there. And they need to spend 2 days there with a Palestinian-led, Palestinian-guided tour. You know, this is what the Israeli ambassador was trying to undermine. He said, "Well, Rokano told us he was going. I did that because I wanted to check the boxes, but he did not come to Israel." I've been to Israel three times. Inside the Green Line. I've been there 3 times before. But they want to make sure that any of the American politicians who go, either they have AIPAC-led trips or they have Israeli government-led trips, and they get to meet people in Israel, and they'll go to Ramallah. They'll meet President Abbas. They'll meet some of the business leaders, but they're not going into the villages and the towns and seeing apartheid and talking to ordinary Palestinians. It's being kept from them. And what we need is politicians to actually go and see the reality. And I guarantee you, if they do that, this will not even be a debate in America.
You talked about the racist element.
No, it's beating time.
Beats you.
Of the maintenance of apartheid from your perspective as a brown man. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
As a brown man.
You're a brown man in America. It's not like America has been all too kind to brown folk. You're from Pennsylvania. And you're saying that this was a different kind that...
Bruh! Chill! Holy fuck! How desperate are we for... Oh my God.
I believe you said something along the lines of you had never recognized your skin color as much as you did when you were traveling through the West Bank.
I've never felt my race as much as I did in the 3 days I was in the West Bank. Never. You know, when I grew up in Pennsylvania in Bucks County, it was a middle-class upbringing, went to public school. But I had a lot of people who believed in me. I couldn't hit for anything. They still played me on Little League teams. I still traded baseball cards. We all rooted for the Phillies. I had a pretty decent childhood. And yeah, sometimes someone would say, go back to India. But that was the exception. That was not the norm. The only time I was acutely aware of race in America, most acutely, was after 9/11. When I don't know if you had this experience, after every airport, I would get called up for advanced screening because I was brown going through airports, and it was post 9/11. But in the West Bank, I felt my race acutely every moment. At the checkpoints when we were traveling, and my aide was at one point a group was white, and one of my friends was white, and I was brown. I could tell that the security, when they came on the bus, they were concerned most about me. Who is this brown guy? At one place when we were on the Israeli...
Are you sure they weren't most interested in you because you're like a guy wearing a fucking suit in the West Bank and you've got 6 security guys with him and 2 camera guys following around? What are we talking about right now? It's not even the type of... And it's so funny because it's such an American perspective on racism. It's such an American-centric version of I went to the Middle East and they were racist against me. It's like, oh shit, did you have a Lebanese name? Or did you have did they hear you pray? Or could you not speak Arabic or Hebrew, depending on where you're at? It's no, I was brown. And they saw me brown. Me brown. They see me brown. White brown. It's the most American brain I've never... Has he ever... I'm sorry, hold on. I don't want to... Jesus, preemptively burn a bridge. Legitimately asking, has he ever left the country before? Has Rokano spent any time outside of the United States of America in his entire life? It's such a crazy... it's so crazy. Me and Loner and the Corey guy got stopped fucking everywhere. And we're the whitest motherfuckers on the planet. I'm pretty sure Lena has fucking blue eyes. I have blue eyes. Okay, Lonerbox has curly black hair, but he looks like a pretty white dude, and the Corey guy was super white. We got stopped everywhere. And they didn't let us go anywhere. Maybe because they knew I was Cuban, actually. True.
Occupied
I
side
thought you
of
were on a
Hebron
paid strip, though.
Yeah, true.
bus, they were concerned most about me. Who is this brown guy? At one place when we were on the Israeli occupied side of Hebron, the 3 or 4 of us, an Israeli, 2 white Americans, and me, the guard comes, he doesn't care about them, he comes and says, who is this guy? Is he the son of Isaac or the son of Ishmael? Meaning, am I a Muslim or a Christian?
I don't believe that. I'm so sorry. I don't. Maybe, though. I mean, like, it's not like I'm an extra. I was there for 2 weeks. I don't know. And I was only in Hebron for half a day. And I was in the Israeli side. Although it sounds like he just said he went to the Israeli side. But maybe they do say this to places. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do.
The 3 or 4 of us, an Israeli, 2 white Americans, and me, the guard comes, he doesn't care about them, he comes and says, who is this guy? Is he the son of Isaac or the son of Ishmael? Meaning, am I a Muslim or a Christian? And I said, Hindu. And the guy was beyond his comprehension. He said, what is that? But I was...
Dude, I cannot believe this. This is like,
you don't
guys,
believe him.
this is like, listen, I want to tell you guys, okay? I went to Africa, okay? And it was just the most beautiful trip of my life. I went to the country of Africa, and let me tell you, Moon, have you ever seen the cartoon Tarzan?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. Just like that. It's just like...
Same thing.
Hindu? I only know Hebrew and kill Palestinian child.
And I said, Hindu. And the guy was beyond his comprehension. He said, what is that? But I was...
I can't believe this. There's no way. Dude, I want all the video footage. I need to see this. I'm not releasing my Israel trip until he releases his. Just kidding. Mine's coming. Ark's got it all ready to go. I want to see the footage of somebody saying this.
Was so made aware of being brown. I was brown first. An American second, a congressperson third, but from the lens of people seeing me there, I was just a brown person. It is not just
it's so cringe. You've got like your brown Jews, and you've got your whiter Jews, and you've got like your Arabs of all different descents. Like, bruh, nobody over there is thinking brown. It is like, this is the most American I can't say it enough. I'm sorry, but this is just the most American-centric view of the fucking planet. He literally sounds like he's never left the country his entire life before. He's like, I was over there, I was a brown man. They saw me as brown. It's so crazy. They might have seen him as weird because he was Indian. Maybe. That's like not impossible. But like, oh my God, this whole story is so crazy to me.
apartheid. It is a racial apartheid that is taking place there.
Yeah, and it's backed by religious fundamentalists, and I do fear that there is an analog here in the United States of America, a similar growth of a movement that is brewing that is a real, genuine threat to normal American existence. And I was wondering if you see those similarities as well. I know you mentioned the historic Jim Crow, a similar apartheid structure that existed in the United States of America, but I do feel like in order for Americans to better comprehend the conditions, because we know America best, do you see a similarity in the growth of ethno-nationalism, Christian nationalism in the United States of America, and a coalition of these similar forces? Did you feel as though this was supremacist values in action, ethno-religious supremacist values in action in their treatment of you, and also their ongoing treatment of the...
Oh, shit. Wait, makes the card wild means that it makes it so like it adds to the bonus and it can be used for any value?
Yes, it's probably the best card.
Ooh, okay.
The Palestinians as well.
It's 10 times worse than anything in the United States of America. But the one place, let me say to people here who maybe get some perspective, think about ICE, and think about ICE racially profiling people who are brown, you know, the Kavanaugh stops where they can just stop people who are brown or in low-wage jobs, and think about how they're harassing them and how they're detaining them and in some cases killing them and killing American citizens who get in the way. And think of basically the IDF in the West Bank as 10 times worse and rogue as what you imagine ICE to be, as a ICE that has absolutely no constraints, it can act with total impunity. And so you see the worst form of it in the West Bank. Of course, at Jamaica, even more concerned about organizations like ICE and the desire that they have to purge the country of people who are brown and to tackle immigration. But it needs to be tackled here, but it's 10 times worse in the West Bank.
Yeah. Do you, as an American citizen and as an American congressperson, as an American taxpayer, do you feel a sense of moral culpability as well with the ongoing occupation? Because once again, another aspect of this conversation that is
How
not
does he not
like
have the
academic,
ability to
not
respond
theoretical,
to
but
anything he's saying? He just immediately goes to his next question. I know you've brought this up in the past, but it's just bugging the fuck out of me.
So some people, when they do interviews, they're just not interested, I guess, in the topics.
Just want to jump through their points.
Yeah, so they don't there is no back and forth. It's just like question, then question, and then question, and then question, and there's no there's no back and forth engagement.
Real is the illegality of this occupation, and yet no one talks about it. Do you feel like that we have an obligation to try to?
He's also. This is why I think he's working for somebody, or somebody's giving him talking points. Like when he's asking these questions, these are questions to get like statements of political positions on the record. Right? Like, as a U.S. congressman, do you feel like we have an obligation to blah, 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 blah? Like, he's trying to get things on the record here. So I don't know if it's like DSA people giving him these questions or what. He hasn't written them on his own 100%. I'm curious where he gets them from.
Academic, not theoretical, but very real is the illegality of this occupation, and yet no one talks about it. Do you feel like that we have...
Like, no one talks about the illegal occupation? Really? Nobody. We haven't spent the last 2 fucking years?
An obligation to try to... recalculate our relationship with the nation state of Israel, and what do you suggest that we can do as regular American citizens, and what can Congress do as well?
Yes, I do feel a moral complicity and some moral guilt. You know, one of the reasons I want to share my own evolution is that we need that kind of evolution in America. I voted for a lot of the aid before October 7th. I voted for those bills. And the irony that they're taking the money I voted for to detain me. I mean, to detain Americans there. It's almost a terrible twist of fate, sort of teaching a lesson of justice. But, you know, I have deep roots in my grandfather and standing up for independence in India and fighting colonialism. And I worked against the war to stop the war in Yemen, and I ran against the first Iraq war, and I've been active in trying to stop the war in Iran. But I was not initially, before October 7th, an activist on the Palestinian issue. But I just saw on my phone the brutal killing of children in Gaza, and I said it's a genocide. And I voted against, for the first time, the aid with Biden, the supplemental bill. They said my political career was over when I voted with 37 other Democrats against that aid. I questioned my own president, as you know, because we met in Chicago. And I was against the Biden then and what the Biden administration was doing and that not having a Palestinian speak. But I have become more and more convinced of the moral stakes of this issue. And at this point, Israel is acting in a rogue way with an apartheid state in the West Bank and is committed genocide in Gaza. We need to end all aid. It's not just academic. We have a vote on the Massey Amendment coming up next week. I mean, are they really going to vote for
Jeffrey
aid
said
after
not to go
Israel's
for it,
foreign
by the
government
way.
just detained an American congressman and 4 American citizens and they're...
Wait, what?
Hakeem Jeffries said that he's encouraging Dems not to vote for that.
For what? An aid thing to Israel?
The Massey Rokana thing bill or whatever. It's basically them trying to not do any aid to Israel. Yeah.
Damn. Is that all it is?
It might be offensive, I think, because he supports defensive. I don't know. I think that is what it is. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay, boom. That's going to kill it. I want to get this. So I'm going to do card, crown. No.
Jeffrey opposes it? Yep.
Okay, boom.
Well,
The ambassador is making excuses. The prime minister is making excuses. You're going to give aid to this country? We need to stop giving military sales to Israel that is using these sales to commit genocide. And we need to be very clear about the terms because words matter. Apartheid and genocide, they matter.
It matters.
And I really believe that there's a reckoning that's coming because young people, both Democrats and Republicans, get this.
Yeah. As far as a member of Congress and just Americans broadly, we do have a lot of power and a lot of influence over the country of Israel. Now, a lot of people here in the United States sometimes get that relationship wrong. And part of that is because of the prominence of pro-Israel voices in American Congress. But there's this attitude that, Israel controls the United States of America. It's actually the exact opposite, where America has tremendous control over the nation state of Israel. Now, of course, with your recent experience in Israel and the lack of support that you've seen, or even the impunity that you have heard from Israeli officials, you might have a different perspective on this as well. But the reason why I keep bringing this up is because there are mechanisms in play of ensuring that Israel actually is held accountable. So I want to ask you about some of those mechanisms in play. I think you brought up the fact that we shouldn't be giving aid to Israel as long as Israel is obviously in violation of international law.
Hit him with the defensive aid question.
And that's one of them. Obviously, like forcing Congress to abide by existing laws like the Leahy Law is a good start. But I want to hear your perspective on additional financial sanctions. Even someone like Rahm Emanuel, who has long been a supporter of Israel, whose father actually was a part of the early Zionist militias himself. Came out while you were in the West Bank. He was at Tel Aviv University and he delivered a speech. And in this speech, he talked about comprehensive sanctions on Israeli banks. And he even went as far as to say every single Israeli bank has a branch in the West Bank, in occupied territory that Israel illegally occupies. I don't know if he used those terms, obviously, but he said that those sanctions would actually reach every single Israeli bank if if we were able to implement them. Are you in favor of something of the sort? Are you willing to go even further than that as far as sanctioning the state of Israel, an arms embargo? These are the questions that I have from my community, certainly.
Your community.
Yeah, I think that's just a start. Of course, we should be sanctioning the banks and the construction and the financing of construction and illegal settlements in the West Bank. But we should be demanding not only that, we should be demanding the prosecution of Yonah Levy and the extremist settlers. We should be demanding the demolition of the outposts and the illegal settlements, even illegal under Israeli law, let alone illegal under international law. We should be sanctioning Ben Gvir and Smotrich and government officials that are engaged in perpetrating apartheid. And so I would go beyond just the banks and deal with the construction of these settlements, deal with the government officials who are involved, demand the extremist settlers be prosecuted, and demand the removal of these outposts and settlements, which is not just theoretical. That would improve daily life for Palestinians today. If we could get rid of the outposts and the settlers and the illegal settlements while we work towards Palestinian self-determination, that would make a difference today if we did that, and the president should do that. I appreciated
that's not going to work for me, Bob.
That's not going to work for me, bud.
We can tell Israel what to do. We don't have to kumbaya 23 nations. Like, stop the settlement, stop the apartheid, recognize Palestinian state. And I think part of it is because it's like an ivory tower. Like, you trek to Tel Aviv, you give some speech. No, come on, meet the people on the ground. And I'm glad at least Ram has moved from now what'll be the right pole of probably the Democratic Party. But we got to have people actually meet. I don't understand how you can lead this party if you've not been to the West Bank for an honest look at what's going on in terms of the human rights issues that are at stake. And then I would not provide military weapons that are being used to kill civilians. I think that's where drop the bombs and Senator Sanders' amendments.
Do you disagree with any of that? All of this is stupid. Again, like, if you want to do something for real, if you really give a fuck and you're not just virtue signaling, then you need to be able to state, what is your plan for Israel? What are we going to do? First of all, you need to have an end vision in mind, at least. What does an end state look like for Israel-Palestine? Like, what are we trying to advance towards? And then once you have that in mind, then what do you do to effect that end? And you go from there. This random, we should sanction, blah, 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 we should blah, 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 blah. I'm not opposed to anything on principle, especially for a lot of these crazy fuckers in the country. But it's just you're not actually doing anything or getting anywhere. It's just all empty, hollow virtue signaling. Because it's what? Okay, you want to sanction people for, okay, and then what? It's there's no plan here. It's cringe.
And I have supported that. People have, I've said I don't think we should provide any aid to Israel, including the purchase of Iron Dome. And I came out for that more recently. But, I got into this back and forth with Mehdi Hasan, where at the time I was like, well, I'm not sure on that. And I said, Mehdi, we haven't even tried step one. We can get to step 7 or 8, but people were saying, oh, Israel's impervious to the United States. How would we know? We've never tried. How about we stop the aid? How about we start these sanctions? How about we stop some of the these military sales? And then we'll see. And my guess is they'll very quickly comply. The reason the ambassador can go on with impunity on the face of the nation, even as Americans are detained, and the prime minister can obfuscate, is because there has never been consequences so far.
Yeah, well, I think the reason why people are demanding an embargo, myself included, is because it is an enforcement action that would get Israel to comply far beyond simply offensive or defensive weapons. Especially considering that now there's this new bill that is being discussed, where there's supposed to be a merger of the Israeli military and the American one that would make this. That would make the issue of holding Israel accountable or stopping Israel's violence against civilians far more difficult. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on that as well. I know you've spoken about that extensively.
Yeah, I'm just going to make sure my connection is strong. I've led the effort in the Armed Services Committee to make sure that that we have a removal of Section 224. Section 224 requires basically the merging of the Israeli military with the American military. I mean, it would appoint a special coordinating person who would basically merge our militaries. Why is this the strategy? And this is where I think it's important to get people on record, because we could cut the aid, we could stop, as I'm saying, the military sales under the Leahy law, but if you're joint producing everything under Section 219 or 224, it doesn't really matter. They won. They have all the military at that point. Yeah. We don't have this for any NATO ally. So we need to stop the military sales killing civilians. We need to make sure that we aren't giving any aid, and we should not allow an end run around that, which was basically Netanyahu's strategy to sort of integrate our military. I mean, it's absurd on its face that we would integrate our military with anyone, but especially absurd that we would do it with a country that's committed genocide, and especially absurd that we would do it when the entire American public wants us to do less with Israel, not more. Only the United States Congress would dream up, well, let's do more.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up is because Benjamin Netanyahu, since the 90s, has claimed over and over again that they could do without American military aid, right? But nowadays, it's become a more commonly shared opinion in the Israeli military and the Israeli government that it's becoming perhaps too politically disadvantageous to continue giving money to Israel so they can purchase the weapons back. And that's the reason why I think a lot of people stress the importance of an embargo and also this merger of the Israeli military, because at that point, it won't even matter if America is directly paying the Israeli government to then purchase arms from the United States of America. A version of this already exists with like jet fuel, for example. This is like very insidious. And many people are not aware of this, but like the Pentagon has always supplied the Israeli military with U.S. jet fuel, and that kind of stuff doesn't even get mentioned in the above board numbers that we're talking about. So a version of this merger already in some respects exists. And you mentioned the exceptional nature of the military partnership that we have with Israel. That also exists with the F-35 program. Israel is the only country that actually doesn't have an American key to their F-35s. Simply put, it's a little reductive, but they get to use their own operating software, for example. No other country gets this level of control over our technology.
I'd be curious to read more into that. Like, they have total top-down. I would be interested to see that. I don't know if I would immediately disbelieve it. I'm sure it's possible, but
so do you like where do you see this relationship going? Especially given that it's a massive divergence between the American public, where every single day Israel is becoming more and more unpopular, whereas Congress seems resilient and resistant to that change, to abide by the needs of the masses.
Well, we need to see Israel first and foremost as an occupying power that has an apartheid state in the West Bank and Gaza and the committed genocide. And that there needs to be dramatic transformation and change for justice and peace in that area. And that means zeroing out the aid. That means no military integration. That means no military sales that can kill civilians. And that means more than that, leadership that's going to demand some of this outposts come down, settlements come down, that is going to work towards a Palestinian recognition and a just peace. That, to me, is where not just Democrats are, the primary voters, and I know you've been had a string of victories with Malat and Abdul, our friend, and looking very strong. And basically,
the does he mean he's had a string of victories?
They establish and attack you, and then the candidate ends up winning.
That's what it looks like to do real politics.
They should be so lucky to have you come out.
Right.
But my point is that that's where the Democrats are, but also where a lot of the young Republicans are, and they understand that we really it's a moral issue, a justice issue, but it's also an issue of America not getting dragged into overseas wars in the Middle East that are hurting our national security.
Yeah. So I want to get a little bit of clarity here because you brought up the idea of being comfortable with sanctions, especially sanctions on any institution, financial or otherwise, that's touching the West Bank. But are you comfortable with like targeted sanctions of that sort? I want to get like full clarity on it. And also, are you comfortable with advancing a demand for an arms embargo, or is that too pie in the sky?
Yes or no?
Well, I would say I'm comfortable with sanctions on government officials and sanctions on anyone.
Like this is, I wonder how much time he puts into rehearsing things. Like this is like a very like I want to get clarity on this. I need to get clarity on this. Is like I want you to clearly state a position for the record.
For the record,
yeah.
The financial institutions and certainly sanctions which are involved in the occupation in the West Bank. And I would look at the construction of the finance, the government officials that are involved there. And of course, if there are people to be held criminally accountable beyond or unsanctioned based on what happened in Gaza, that needs to happen once that goes through the ICJ and ICC. The way I frame it, similar to Sanders and others, is no military sales under our Leahy law. And the arms embargo in candor would go further. It would that would mean, I suppose, as you would define it, that you would stop Israel even from getting defensive weapons, even not from us, but if they just want to get Iron Dome or things. That to me is probably too far. I mean, I'm all for defending and saving human life. So I have framed it the way Sanders or others have: no military sales in terms of things that could kill civilians. Which is
but you would not be in favor of a similar ease of access to defensive weapons for the Palestinians, right? As far as like if Palestinians were to get arms from...
I think if a Palestinian state wanted to have Iron Dome, I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
Why would that be a problem?
All right. Well, I hear this from other Democratic congresspersons as well, and it's always interesting to hear their perspective because I'm fairly certain that we have long-standing sanctions on Iran specifically for delivering weapons illegally. We've decided it's illegal
Iran?
to the Palestinian population, similar to the acts of resistance with Hezbollah. These are obviously not the Iron Dome because they don't have that technology, but these are weapons that are being used and still being used against Israeli soldiers in Israel's illegal and ongoing occupation of Lebanon. Weapons that were received by. I'm
not for arming Hezbollah or arming Hamas, or I don't think that's going to get the peace.
Like you see how like, can you perceive that Ro Khanna doesn't understand the conversation he's in right now?
I don't think Ro
Hasan
Khanna
was
knows
just like
that this
making
guy loves Hamas.
Yeah, like he's like not even really thinking about it. Like if you were to break right now, like wait, hold on, Ro Khanna. Would you be in favor of like arming Hezbollah or that Hamas should have strong weapons? He would say, oh no, those are terrorist organizations. They're both bad. No, of course not. But Israel needs to be stopped too. And then he would say, are you aware that the person interviewing you was like super like pro Hezbollah and super pro Hamas? Are you aware of that? I'm not sure if he would be aware of that. I don't know if he would know that. which is so, it's just very annoying. Ugh.
I would say that the United States should be working on the recognition of a Palestinian state to stop the aid to Israel, to stop the military sales to Israel that are being used to kill civilians, and use our leadership to get finally a Palestinian state that where Palestinians can live with equal rights and dignity. I don't think the way to that is for Iran to be arming Hamas or Hezbollah or armed resistance. I just I don't agree with that. And my grandfather.
No, that's why I was saying, like, when you see that it's a fair standard to apply evenly across the board, a similar sanctions package for countries that are also delivering arms sales to a country that, by your own admission, has participated in a genocide, and also a country that actually subjected you to the apartheid conditions in its detention.
He got apartheided.
But I would, I would restrict all aid, so zero out all aid, and I would restrict all military sales killing civilians. I guess the question is, you would go further and say Israel shouldn't have Iron Dome or some of these weapons? I think that they genuinely could be shot at.
No, he would take that and arm Hamas.
A life is a life.
The way I see it is the way I see it is I see Palestinians as human beings. I see Israelis as human beings. I want a just and equitable outcome for every single person that's living in the region, and I see that as the only way to achieve that is because I don't see the Palestinian existence as a spoiler to this endeavor at all. I see Israel as an occupation to be the primary and only spoiler to a lasting and equitable peace, and therefore I want the full spectrum of pressure to be deployed on the country that is responsible for a metric ton more of heinous war crimes. And that's precisely the reason why I'm in favor of more comprehensive, more of a comprehensive penalty to Israel, because I'm fully aware that none of those things are most likely going to happen, and that Israel is going to...
Remember what I said before. It was never just about defunding one thing or stopping aggressive weapons or stopping defensive weapons or whatever. It is a full... They would want a forcible regime change, destruction. It's all Western-aligned nations need to be destroyed or flipped. That's how they view it. 100%.
Come to the recognition that they have to play ball. One of the things that I wanted to also ask
just because I'm always a straight shooter, I think, on the menu of all the penalties, I'm probably 7 or 8 out of the 10 we're on the same page, and you may go a few further, but my point is, so far we've only done one, and if we
the few further is arming Hamas,
American president,
and Hezbollah,
start going up the ladder, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think you quickly will see a massive change in behavior, and that's what the base wants. And I think it's not just the policy. I think we need to be going and standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people and lifting up their stories and talking about their daily life and helping the American people understand what's going on there.
One other question that I had for you before I let you go, and thank you so much for all the work that you've done. Thank you so much for going to the West Bank and seeing the experience of the Palestinians and the conditions that they're subjected to, once again, by a criminal occupation. This is an illegal occupation under international law. And speaking of sanctions, by the way, we've obviously deployed sanctions on the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice for even investigating some of these war crimes in the ongoing occupation.
Which is absurd.
Yeah, which is totally ridiculous.
I legit don't get it. How is the Iron Dome bad? How can they contend with that? Are they just being dumb? 2 points, one kind of dumb, one super dumb. So the first is the fungibility of money. They say that, well, if we fund them any money at all, even if it's just for defensive weapons like the Iron Dome, that means that they can use the extra money that they saved on more offensive stuff. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing they say is the reason why the Iron Dome itself is actually bad. Sometimes they'll say that thing that I just said. They'll try to pull that one on you if you're not paying attention.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah. But the second one they'll say is the Iron Dome is actually bad because the Iron Dome allows Israel to engage in more offensive actions. And if they didn't have the Iron Dome, they would be far more careful with how they conduct themselves because they'd be worried about getting fucked by the other countries around them.
As a matter of fact, someone that you've endorsed, Abdul El-Sayed, has been quite critical of Haley Stevens, who also voted in favor of the sanctioning of, I believe...
If the U.S. cut all ties with Israel and China swooped into a line with them, would Hasan change his stance a little bit? Absolutely not. That would be a victory, a total victory. Remember, the reason why anything that strengthens the United States' opponents, these guys will consider good. Anything that weakens the United States, these guys will consider good. That's it. I know this sounds simplistic. I challenge you to find a single stance, though, that is oppositional to that. This is the perspective of them, unfortunately, as crazy and unhinged as that is. Why is the second point bad? The second point is bad because if there was a country that was continuously dumping rockets into your population and you didn't have the ability to intercept those, you would just move in and you would completely and totally fucking eradicate that second population. It would be no mowing the lawn or whatever bullshit they say or any limited strikes. They would just completely obliterate the neighboring population because no country would tolerate that. That's it. It would be over. So, yeah.
critical of Haley Stevens, who also voted in favor of the sanctioning of, I believe, the ICC, sanctioning of the judges, and on top of that, voted against Rashida Tlaib, your colleague's bill to apply a similar standard to the the War Powers Resolution to demand Israel pull out of Lebanon in its illegal occupation of currently Lebanese territory.
I was one of the original co-sponsors, sponsors of Rashida's resolution, which is not just protecting the lives of people in Lebanon, where you've had brutal bombing in Beirut and the surrounding areas, but it's also protecting American interests, because part of what is perpetuating this war and having Iran block the Strait of Hormuz, as you know.
Do we know if Hasan has ever worked or collaborated with Morris Katz? Oh, thank you for reminding me of that, actually.
Smart.
What?
I'm pretty sure he is working with Morris Katz, right?
Yeah, I have a friend from New York who sent me so much information about this person. Holy fuck. I might go out, if I beat this floor, I'll go over that tonight.
Is Israel continues to bomb Lebanon. Even the Trump administration is so frustrated by it. And all Rashida's resolution was saying is, let's stop that any assistance to Israel in bombing Lebanon. And of course, I believe that we should not be sanctioning the ICC or the ICJ.
Yeah. One question I had for you was about some of the terminology that you used. Like, you were uncomfortable.
I meant in the stance on his opinion of Israel in general. Ultimately, it's just about him being against any Western entity, right? Anything that's perceived to be strengthening, like the Western hegemony or whatever. Yeah, hegemony, not hegemony. You know what? Hegemony. Fuck it.
One question I had for you was about
it's the hegemony.
Yeah, hegemony.
About some of the terminology that you used. Like, you were uncomfortable with the term apartheid in the past. You have obviously evolved on your position, and I really appreciate that you've gone through this journey and have been very open about it as well.
You're so sure.
Even before my trip to the West Bank, I think I said apartheid, but I would kind of hesitate.
Yeah.
I have no hesitation after going there to say it is an apartheid state. I mean, it is a Jim Crow state. I don't care about any of the politics. I mean, anyone going there, spend 2 days there, I guarantee you'll say the same thing. Look, I believe it was genocide. You can debate the legality of that and have legal debates. There is no debate if you go to the West Bank on the facts of the ground of apartheid.
Yeah. But the reason why I was bringing that up is because, like, you've talked about the importance of using proper terminology. One of the questions that you have received, that you have answered in the past, is actually a silly question. It's does Israel have a right to exist? And now the new version of this has become, does Israel have a right to exist as a Jewish state? Since you've also faced the militant aspect of ethno-religious supremacy, do you still maintain the position that Israel has a right to exist as a ethno-religious Jewish state, as an ethno state, or has your calculation changed on that? Should any state exist as an ethno state, or do you?
Because this guy has like real politics and shit to worry about in the future.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of should know. They should do better prep for their interviews and understand what they're getting into. But there's no way he'll say no to this. They have to say yes. I think it's a pretty radical position. I think but I think assuming he understands the question, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Do you have a different calculation now?
I have always maintained, and I guess here's how I would frame it. I've always been saying that Israel should be Jewish. The Jewish people should have the ability to have self-determination. It's fine to have a Jewish state, but it has to be under equal rights and non-occupation with a Palestinian state and with equal human rights within the Green Line of Israel. There are a lot of religious states, right? I mean, England has the Church of England, Greece has the Orthodox Greek Church. There are, of course, Pakistan and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Jordan. The problem is there's a difference between having a state that has a constitution based on religion, which the Jewish people can have, and a state where she uses religion to oppress and subjugate and deny the rights of others. But what is happening right now with Israel is obviously an occupation, an apartheid, and a genocide. So I don't support that. But my hope is that what could emerge is a state that recognizes equal rights and ends the occupation and has a Palestinian state. That said, look, I'm not rigid. Obviously, I've supported this framework for the Arab peace plan, and that could go forward. There are other possibilities people have floated, and I'm open to that. What I do know is that we need to start with improving life on the ground for Palestinians, and that means demanding the destruction of the outposts, the settlements, the prosecution of violent settlers, ending the aid, ending military sales, clearly calling it apartheid and genocide, and working towards peace.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up specifically is because, again, it's vague, but it's also a loaded term for the most part, because like Israel as it currently exists is an ethno state, and even inside of the Green Line, there's obviously a double standard in the way, or to varying degrees, there are different forms of discrimination that the Palestinian citizens of Israel face, whether it be not getting the sufficient Iron Dome coverage for a Bedouin village, or even a Bedouin village that is constantly on the constantly getting destroyed, having to rebuild them, numerous Jewish-only enclaves within the state itself. This is also the most favorable conditions for the Palestinians that exist under currently Israeli sovereignty as it stands. And even under the most favorable conditions, there's still plenty of discrimination that they face. And that's the reason why I place it in a different standard than other countries that happen to have more, Muslims or Christians. I don't think any ethno state.
What, like Pakistan? Like, what are the other countries that are ethno-Arab or Muslim states that you think like give great equal rights to every single citizen of all the different religions and races and creeds? Like, what?
It should exist, but England, for example, has the Church of England, and
Turkey.
yet people
Big
can
killing.
travel to England and become British citizens, as opposed to a Palestinian cannot become a full-fledged Israeli citizen under no circumstance.
They literally have 2 million of them. What?
As a matter of fact,
Well, that's why, for me, the ideal would be something like England, where I would say that, look, they have the Church of England. The Church of England gets to appoint people in the Lords. It's not completely neutral to religion. They have religious ceremonies for the King Charles. There's still a value of being
it's a symbolic one, though, right? Like, it's still a secular state at the end of the day. Like, I wouldn't consider England to be a religious state. I would say it's a secular state. And I'm not a fan of the country. And
they colonized my grandfather. They got positives and negatives. But look, I would just say that to the extent it moves towards, if there's a way that people can recognize that the Jewish people, I do believe, have ties to that land, just like the Palestinians have ties to the land, just like many people have ties to the land.
He doesn't like that
there was a need for Jewish self-determination.
Wait, what is this chat saying?
Post the Holocaust.
I don't think he posted his chat with this video.
Is a militarized state that is engaged in apartheid and occupation.
Oh, wait.
And my vision is, how do you
it's on YouTube.
create
No
a peace
chat for some
where
reason.
if you do have a Jewish component to a state, that you still have equal rights, and someone who's Palestinian can be as equally treated on land, on their prospects and political participation within the Green Line. And I think you can get to that if you can get a Palestinian state. But to get the Palestinian state on the ground, you first have to get rid of all these illegal settlements and these outposts and the violence, and you really need to take a lot more constructive.
He's not going to like that
steps.
one.
So like I said, I'm
Push
open
him
to
again, Hasan.
other
This is
solutions.
the
To
only
me,
one
it
he's
seems
gone
that
like twice on. Do it one more
towards this
time. Bring
will
it back one more time.
Get to peace. But I hope other people in the Congress, the Senate, others will come and answer these questions, because we have a lot of people who now are willing to have some of the platitudes, but are not willing to back it up with the concrete policy of no military sales and no aid, and calling it a genocide apartheid.
Okay. I know I keep saying one last question.
You can keep going. I'm
He's going to do it again?
The other thing that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people talk about a two-state solution. And oftentimes,
there we go.
especially in the anti-Zionist movement, this is seen as a way to just hand wave away a lot of the problems, because it seems impossible to accomplish for numerous reasons. One of them is obviously the 750,000 Jewish settlers that currently live in occupied East Jerusalem and also in the West Bank, and those numbers are obviously growing. There's a non-contiguous Palestinian state, which is precisely the reason why it seems virtually impossible after the last 3 decades of settler expansion. The other question.
That's not neither of those things were like the huge deal breakers in the past, but that's okay.
Always have, and I rarely ever get to ask this to any sitting representatives, is how do you foresee a Palestinian standing army, and how do you get Israel to be on board with having a Palestinian army? Because that's the reality. States cannot exist without a standing military. States cannot exist without some kind of security cooperative agreements with other states in the region. Like, how would we get Israel to be? How would we get Israel to abide by the fine details of a two-state, one that would have its own sovereignty, its own territorial control,
and its own military,
its own standing military that could potentially have security cooperative agreements with other nation states in the region?
Military.
Well, first of all, we deal with the settler issue, and that's why the first actions need to be to destroy the outposts, to demolish the illegal settlements. There will probably have to be some land swap. I read there was an intriguing proposal that you have 100,000 or 200,000 people who are Jewish settlers near Jerusalem be still part of Israel, but then you have Palestinians in what is currently in the Green Line be part of a Palestinian state.
We lost them.
WTF, two shins?
Damn it, we're just getting good. Hold on, let me see if we can get Congressman Ro-Khanna back on the call, potentially. Send him a text real quick.
Oh my God, he's texting him?
Wait,
he's so
hold on.
fucking
His phone
cool.
might have died. Okay, we did. Oh no, I think his phone died. No.
Oh, no.
All right, well, Congressman Ro-Khanna was very generous with his time on a Sunday nonetheless. I mean, he was sitting outside of a church, sitting in his car. So that was very nice. And no, it's not a strategically deployed phone battery. I do believe it. He loves this kind of shit. Okay, he loves yapping about issues that you normally would not hear from the average American congressperson. So wait, he's back.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Just been having some connection issue. Can I finish my answer?
Yes, I would love that. I thought your phone died, but
It did die, but I
He's
managed to
charged up.
pull it back in. I don't know how it died.
He's back in it.
Anyway, you think the Silicon Valley congressman would be better at it, but there you go. Look, so there's some land swaps, but ultimately, yes, you're right. Once we get to a Palestinian state, there needs to be security agreements and security cooperation, and Palestinians need to make sure that they would have to recognize, of course, Israel's existence at that point in any deal, because Israel want to know that they aren't going to get attacked at that point, and Israel would need to be fine with a security arrangement with the Palestinian state that was able to defend its citizens and its people, and that would have to be negotiated. So I still believe that is the framework that holds out for peace. But here's the thing: whether you believe in that, whether you believe in other options, there are so many steps we can take to get to that point that would improve the lives of Palestinians. We can allow them to drill for water. We can make sure that Israel stops subsidizing settlements. We can destroy some of these outposts. We can demand the prosecution of the violent settlements. We can stop our aid. We can stop the military cells that are being used to kill them. I mean, and we work towards this, and then we keep other options on the table. But what I have said, I think, would dramatically, within a year, improve Palestinian lives if just Congress and American president did some of the basic things I'm talking about.
As far as parting words goes, Senator Lindsey Graham passed away earlier today at the age of 71. He was a massive advocate for not only the Iran war, but he was a massive advocate for Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu has eulogized him.
Talking points, and it's so obvious.
What is your opinion on the news coverage of a congressperson's legacy? Do you feel like it should reflect the?
I wish now, having spent some time in this space actually, and then like seeing more how like everybody works from the front to the back, like the people that are public facing versus whatever. I really do think we should have so much more transparency on everything. Like I really think, I don't know. I guess when it comes to politics, if it's democracy, like I want to know who is pushing. Yeah, like not just for Hasan, like for anybody. Like obviously that the lawsuit with Dominion and Fox News, that was really important stuff. I want to know that the Trump administration is like pushing the largest cable news network in the country to lie on their behalf. That's really important stuff. I wish there was way more transparency on this stuff.
Impact that he's had, both good and bad. Okay. That happened. Okay. I don't know what to say. That's crazy. Okay, Silicon Valley, by the way. Silicon Valley congressperson.
Wait, what happened?
The impact that he's had, both good and bad.
I assume his phone died again.
Okay, this.
We're
that's
haters,
amazing.
Man.
I don't care. I am.
That's
a hater.
amazing. That's funny. Okay, we lost him.
I hate the motherfucker.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, that's. You know what? That's what we got. That's fine. It's all good. That's that's not tactical. That's not a tactical disconnect. All right, you know what? I'm gonna end the interview here. We've already exhausted Congressman Ro Khanna's phone battery and his time. Again, thank you to Ro Khanna for coming on.
Are you okay?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was funny. I feel like I was appropriately critical at times, right? But also, tried to arrive at some.
What can your max gold thing be? Is it all 1,000% for this shit up here?
I don't know. I didn't know they were telling me now for the first time.
Shut up. Somebody link me his Twitch chat again, or link me the Twitch stream. I wonder if he emote on it.
As an ethno state, or has your calculation changed on that? Should any state?
I was so ready for the Rose cycle to be over, and he's right back to the start with weapons, man.
Exist as an ethno state, or do you have a different calculation now?
I have always maintained, and I guess here's how I would frame it.
Great question, Hasan.
I've always been saying that.
Proud of Hasan for asking him the tough questions here.
Israel should be Jewish. The Jewish people should have the ability to have self-determination. It's fine to have a Jewish state, but it has to be under
Do other states operate as such? Yes.
Equal rights
on stolen land
and non-occupation with a Palestinian state
Caught.
with equal human rights.
No ethno-states.
Within the Green Line of Israel.
No
There are a
ethno-states
lot of-
ever. Bad answer. Loving the hard questions. They straight up colonized them. Omega lol. Ha 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 ha. See? Uh-oh. Of course. Caught.
Religious states, right? I mean, England has the Church of England. Greece has the Orthodox Greek Church. There are, of course,
Told you,
Pakistan,
chat.
and Iran, and Saudi Arabia, and Jordan. The problem is there's a difference between having a state that has a
Mediocre.
constitution based on religion,
Mealy-mouthed.
which the Jewish people can have.
Probably should go through the motions and run for president to show the nation who you are even more in that context. I don't know what that means. How do you have an equal right ethno-state? LOL. How does that work? So the Zoran answer, pretty much. I'm going to throw this computer screen off my 5-story window right now. No Ethan states at all. Simple and plain. Within the Green Line? You can't have a fucking state for a single set of people. What do you think every single state on the planet is? What are these? What the fuck? What do you think all nation states? How do you think all of them are founded? What all of them were?
They don't think, man.
So yes or no, huh? The Brad Lander answer. L. Always goofy.
Yes or no?
Shut up. Jewish state and equal rights cannot ever be aligned. You know, if this was any other state or country, he'd be going balls to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He's still learning, LOL. I don't think politicians can read. Jesus. Self-determination is just code for the right to erase Palestine.
In a state where she uses religion to oppress and subjugate and deny the rights of others. What is happening right now with Israel?
Okay. Cringe. Oh, my favorite disgusting piece of shit.
The ICE agents who killed a person in Maine yesterday were reportedly not using body-worn cameras, and that's despite DHS officials coming to Congress and repeatedly saying over the last few months that they want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that. I worked
I call him out.
about 22 hours in the last few days, and I did not get the briefing on that yet. I will this morning. Yes.
I worked about 22 hours in the last few days. Well, if that was over one day, that's a lot. If that was over 2 days, that's a really busy 2 days. If that was over 3 days, well, that just sounds like a normal work schedule. If that was over 4 days, what was that? Okay, good one, Chief. Destiny, to answer your cap question, I went over 2K on XP and luck. I assume there's no cap. What? That's not true, because I've been capped at 1,000 on this before. Unless you can raise the cap or something.
Continuing the funding of Israel, he proposes it comes to the United States. No, just think of and they're the only ones doing nothing. Netanyahu believe.
Oh my God, bro! Whatever this new political movement is, with fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene and Anna and Jank and Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes and Dave Smith, it is all like the lowest IQ renegades. I don't know what you would call them. It's like the It's like the intellectual dumb web, like whatever this is. Oh my god, they're like uniformly united by their hatred of Jewish people, which is, I still maintain, is the most boring of all the bigotries. It attracts the dumbest people. Holy shit. All right, one more Hasan Slappa. What is this?
15 minutes ago, Detroit News, sample 500, U.S. Senate Michigan Democratic primary 2026. Haley Stevens at 48%, Abdul El Sayed at 41%, undecided and other at 10%. We'll flip that.
We'll flip that, guys. We will do it. Us. It's about us, guys.
It's expected. Good results for Stevens, although it is worth noting that Glenn Gariff has been consistently strong poll for her this primary. They've had her ahead in every survey they've conducted so far. I don't know their methodology, but I would expect...
Yeah? You're a big methodology guy?
I would
Studied the
expect
polls?
this poll to probably underestimate youth turnout.
Ah. Famous for being so
But,
reliable.
of course, as is the case, every single outlet will turn around and aggressively posture as though this poll is the new lay of the land. Stevens is winning. Abdul's done. It's over. But it was expected. As I told you, McMorrow staying in the race was actually eating away at Haley Stevens' base a little bit.
Yeah, everybody knows that, Chief. You're not a
Stevens
genius.
at a higher ceiling, unfortunately, because she has $50 million in outside expenditure. This is, unfortunately, a very real part of the problem. Okay? Is it hope that Obama would show up for Abdul? I don't think Obama will show up for Abdul, but it doesn't have to happen that way at all.
wish.
Haley Stevens has 0 grand game, no get out to vote effort, nothing on the ground. She's relying on old people turnout in Detroit, which is historically abysmal primary turnout. I know.
Old people never vote.
Nope.
Zoran Bump could help him a lot. No. What are you talking about? Get real. Zoran is the mayor
No, he's
of
got
New York
Hasan.
City.
Why would he need Zoran?
Okay, sure. He's a very
Exactly.
popular figure, but he's not going to fucking go out to push for a U.S. Senate candidate in Michigan.
Yeah, idiots.
Obviously, everything helps, but like, you know,
Come on, guys.
be a little bit more
You're
realistic with
embarrassing
your
me.
expectations.
Fucking
He's the
morons.
mayor of New York, okay? Also, what you have to remember is this weekend, there are going to be massive events for Abdul Al Sayed.
Massive, bro. They're going to be huge. Like you've never fucking seen before, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to see the craziest shit.
Mm-hmm.